So.
Red 10 standing by.
Red 7 standing by.
Red 3 standing by. Red 6 standing by.
Red 9 standing by.
Red 2 standing by.
Red 11 standing by.
Red 5 standing by.
Oh man, and the comments are already on fire. What was this? Oh, this is great. I love this one. The author of the Player's Handbook meets the man who stole a girl from Charles E. Yes, it's true. This is a historic event. Actually, semi-historic event because yesterday was actually the first time we shared the stage together. But I have Mystery in with me today. And I can't even believe I'm saying that. So, coming up live from Las Vegas, this is the Rational Mail. And that's my band playing it.
Yeah, very nice.
All right, let's bring us out of there. Okay, without further ado, I have with me Mystery, also known as Eric von Markovic.
That's correct.
I got the name right.
In the house, in Las Vegas.
Wow. So we're going to run today's show a little bit differently. This is more of like an interview show. So I'm not running any videos or anything like that today because I want to maximize my time with you right here.
Sure.
But we just had a conversation a little while ago where you're saying you're going to at least try to get an apartment or something here in Vegas.
I need a home base in America. I have a work visa. I've got my children who live in the States, and I'd like to settle into America. So of all the cities to do so, I was just in New York City. I would say that's a little too much for me.
Yeah.
You know, I'm more West Coast hearted. I lived in Hollywood for 10 years on and off. So I'm a West Coaster.
Yeah, you and me both.
Right? Fair. And my kids,
born and raised.
my kids live in California. So they could easily come up to Vegas and see me here.
4-hour drive.
So I could balance, both business and personal life. I think I can pull it off here, making a home base here in Las Vegas.
Oh, that's great.
Right?
So we just did the MOA Summit yesterday.
We did yesterday.
Shared stage yesterday, which you can only get on MOA, I'm afraid, at this point. So if you guys wanted to see that, you could. I think I'm pretty sure they're going to make it, some of it, at least the clips of it, like publicly available.
Fair, but it's otherwise behind a paywall.
Yeah, I had so many people say, "Oh," because I was putting Instagram like reels and stuff out. I'm like, where do I see this? How can I go? I'm like, you guys are gonna have to wait for the clips. But I got you here now, and that's so I'm gonna we're gonna just shoot the shit here.
Sounds good.
And
we have lots to talk about,
and
lots in common.
We're also gonna open it up. Like if you guys want to ask questions, feel free to super chat because you're gonna have to, so I can actually, because I got so many people in the chat today.
Why don't we just start with that
highlighted?
Let's
I got two already.
Introduce a couple of these people who are viewers.
Siege says, shout out to Sartain for making this connection. Yes. Mike is the one who actually facilitated it, which is amazing to me. That's another topic that we need to talk about. Let's get this party started. Salute to the two pioneers, the two best in the game. These two are the game. Today is the equivalent of walking into a dojo and being taught by Bruce Lee and Chuck Norris. You're Bruce Lee, I'm Chuck Norris.
Well, shout out to you too.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Thank you. Oh man.
Kind words.
Yeah. So first thing I wanted to ask you is, like, you've been doing this for almost as long as I have. Actually, you've been doing it longer than I have. So I got when you first came in here for Access Vegas, which was about 2 weeks ago.
That's right.
And I was just like, I had to tell Travis, I had to tell Mike, I said, I'm gonna fanboy a little bit because I feel like I know you already from like all your work and all the stuff that you've done, like Mystery Method and everything throughout the years, and the game, reading the game, of course, and then being on VH1 and all that other stuff
Sure,
too.
sure.
So, but I mean, our paths have never really crossed up until this point, which is probably a good thing, because now I've got about 23 years under my belt, and being in the Red Pill spaces and Manosphere and stuff like that.
Understood.
You, on the other hand, started this in 1998.
1998 is when I coined the PUA acronym, which stands for Pickup Artist, right? In 1998. So I was getting into pickup at that time, right? Self-taught and writing about my exploits.
Was it just blogging at that point, or what were you doing? Just like writing?
Yeah.
Because I collect notebooks, basically.
I'll tell you how I got into to knowing that there was a small burgeoning online community of pickup artists. I found a journal, an online journal, before they called them blogs. I found a journal of a teenager whose goal at the beginning of the diary was to meet a girl, fall in love, have a girlfriend. That's what he wanted. I read every entry for an entire year of this student and his thoughts and how long it took. And at the end of the book, at the end of 1 year, he still didn't have a girlfriend. And as I recalled, his story included going to summer school because she was going to summer school.
Oh, wow.
Not talking to her, just looking away, never engaging in the entire year that he loved her, right? And then I thought to myself, there's got to be someone out there who's good like me. I had some good stories. I met some women and pulled them into my life. You know, I could write something like this better than this guy, right? So I went looking for an online journal of someone who was good, right? I wanted to find that. And I found the Alt Seduction Fast news group, right? And from there, it became moderated Alt Seduction Fast at fastseduction.com. It had to be moderated because the unmoderated space on news groups was infiltrated with
Chaos.
a lot of trash, right? So we moderated just to get rid of a couple guys who, you know, were not collaborative with us. Fair? That's how I got into it.
Yeah, you're always going to have guys like that. That's funny because I have a very similar trajectory. So when I was in my rock star 20s, I didn't have any trouble picking up girls. My my notch count to this day, as everybody knows, is public knowledge, is 41, right? And most of those are from the time I was 17 until I was about 28 years old. So in between there, I learned what worked for me. And remember, this is before social media. This is before cell phones. This is before really the rise of the internet or anything like that. So we're talking about like 88, 89 through 1996-ish, somewhere around there. And then I learned what worked for me, whether it was playing in clubs or whatever, because I was part of I was born and raised in Southern California, spent a lot of time in the Hollywood metal scene at that time, which then slowly but surely died off right around, early 90s. And had, I think at that time I had maybe 2 real solid, like long-term relationships. But other than that, it was just sort of like meet a girl at the club, have sex, move on, whatever.
Were they groupies?
Some were, some weren't.
Okay.
Some wanted to be more than groupies.
Okay. But this was all based on creating social proof through getting on stage and performing.
Right.
Awesome. So that's why guys get into music.
One of the things you were talking about on Mike's thing is you're talking about gambits, right? And one of the ones I wanted to tell you was I didn't know, I wouldn't call it a gambit back then, but one of the things I used to do is if I was at a club like in Hollywood or something like that, I was poor as hell, right? So like coming up with money, even just to have just to drink a beer or something at a club was a lot of, I would have to save up. Because I'm a musician, man. I'm trying to put money into the band. I'm trying to put money into other things.
I was a magician. So I too, in my younger years.
So when you go, hey, why don't you buy me a drink? That was just natural for me because I'm so poor. I need you to buy me a drink. But so I would have one drink.
A bus ride home.
I would have one drink and I would nurse that damn drink the whole night. So I'd be like talking to these girls, and so I had my drink there, and I'm like, oh hey, my set's coming up. Watch my drink, and to be continued. I'll talk to you. You watch my drink until I'm done with the set, right?
Yeah.
If that girl was there at the bar or wherever, at the table, whatever, still watching my drink after the set, I knew it was on. That was my only gambit that I knew.
A strong indicator of interest.
Yes,
no doubt.
If she wasn't, or the drink was gone, and they were all gone, I knew, okay, it's off. So
comedians as well. Music is one way of conveying your personality. Magic is another.
For sure.
But in the world of pickup, one of the best skill sets to develop is the comedy edge.
Oh yeah.
To be comedic, to run comedic gambits or game pieces in succession, so they'll think you're funny. If you say one joke, they'll say that was funny. You say several in a row, they'll say you're funny. It's no longer the material that gets the acclaim, but the person saying it. Right?
True.
Learn comedy.
So during that time, I learned what worked for me. And so that's one of that sort of gave me a different outlook on how I sort of approach game, or I approach the red pill, or my writing and everything that I've done since then, is because I want guys to have like sort of an individualized program for themselves. Because I know, like, people say, Rollo, how do I get what you have? I've been married for 29 years. You do this, you do that. I'm like, well, I can't tell you that because you're not me, and who you're going to get with is not my wife, and I hope not, who you're going to get with, whatever you're going to do is going to be, you are the one that is going to be creating this. And so I kind of learned that along the way, that it's more of an individualized approach instead of this cookie cutter, like 7 tips to get the girl. Number 4 will surprise you.
It should be individualized. Everyone is going to shine in their own individual way. If you go out as a group of friends, every one of you should be individual from each other. Maybe you look like you're a part of the same rock band, but you all have your own individuality. Same with the material that you run when you meet groups of people. The things you say should be unique to you. You don't have to say what everyone else has said. Sure, there are some stock openers, jokes that break the ice. Those are useful, and you can share those. But when it comes to building comfort with the woman, right, and her group, you're going to have to individualize. You're going to have to tell things about your life. People ask me about my mid game. What is it that I'm saying? And I'm doing 2 things. I'm performing shared activities with the woman. Whether a bad example is going for golf, with her, but doing something with her, as well as telling stories of my life. And so I haven't written a book on mid game because the stories I use are my stories. I can give them as examples, but people can't replicate them and just, swap out words, or it becomes a fake story. Yeah.
You have to make it your own. It's like, it's adaptation and improvisation. And one of the things I've told guys in the past is, like, if you want to learn how to, like, be a little bit more comfortable, like if you're an introvert or something like that, you want to learn to be more comfortable with, well, I mean, you've learned this by experience of forcing yourself into those situations. So that's right. I'm also, people look at me like, oh, he's very extroverted. I'm extroverted because I have to be extroverted.
Same.
I'm an author by nature. We're introverts.
That's right.
You have to usually, if you are uncomfortable with spending long hours by yourself, authorship is not for you. But I mean, a lot of the stuff that I like to do, like I'm never bored. I'm either playing guitar, I'm a creative person, I'm painting, I'm drawing, I'm writing, I'm doing all kinds of, I just want to find different outlooks and places.
For me, I just want to be mentally stimulated. And so I'm even alone in a room. I've got so many projects that I have on my master projects list memorized in my head that I can operate off of that list and keep myself busy building things. I'm a songwriter. I perform magic, so I'm always learning new magic, trying to devise new effects. It keeps me very mentally stimulated. And also women keep me mentally stimulated, right? Just thinking about them, missing one in particular, it fuels me, keeps me alive.
Yeah. You have a muse.
I have a muse.
You have a muse. That's all. Artists and poets and everybody, God, they need a muse. No, I was going to say, you mentioned comfort a little while ago, and I have a confession to make. Okay. one of the reasons why I double majored. I have a degree, a bachelor's of fine arts, and I have a BS in behavioral psychology.
Okay.
The reason why I double majored was something, I think it was a thread or something you put, it was either on Venusian arts or it was on alt fast seduction at that time. And I was just sort of a casual observer of what you guys were doing during the early and mid 2000s, right?
Fair.
And so, but it came at a really great time because I was going to school at that time. And I was minoring in psychology until I decided that I wanted to double major because it was a lot of the stuff that I had, my prerequisites had already transferred over.
And you loved school.
And I love school. I did actually like school. I
the
enjoyed
social
school.
aspects of it,
love
especially.
school. I mean, I have a whole nother philosophy when it comes to education and stuff. But you mentioned something about, it was a psychological principle. And then I realized that this was, what you were doing was much more about psychology than it was just about like, just spout off these lines and chicks will come after you. And you mentioned something about comfort. And you said psychology or psychologists don't measure comfort by how comfortable you actually are. It's a lack of discomfort.
That's right.
And I distinctly remember you saying something like that, or I read something like that. And then I think you made the comparison. I think it was like when airlines are putting seats together and they're trying to cram it because it's in their best interest to put as many people on a plane as possible, right? But it's like they still have to have enough foot room and everything like that. And so it's like how little foot room can we give them before the discomfort factor kicks in and they're uncomfortable?
Right.
And it made me think about comfort in a different way. And I'm like, is this true? And I went and I looked it up because I was in college at the time, and I'm like, hey, he's right. They measure this comfort in not comfort, but in the lack of discomfort.
That's right.
Can you expand on that?
Yeah, sure. You're going to want to be in a comfortable situation with the girl at some point where she feels comfort, you feel comfort. Now, if the conversation goes to uncomfortable places, you should be cognizant of those signals of her discomfort and remove discomfort, just like an airline. They are not concerned with making the passenger comfortable. They're concerned with removing discomfort. If you have a chill, here's a blanket. If you are tired, you can turn the light off. If you need to breathe more, if you're hot, you can turn the coolness on, right? They're just out to remove your discomfort, right? Same with, here's a pillow for you, right? As if those little pillows help. They're symbolic, right? They're not very helpful, but they're removing discomfort. Same with when you're in a situation, you're seated with a woman of interest, and the conversation goes to an uncomfortable place for her. Maybe you're hitting on her and she doesn't feel comfortable with that. You have to be cognizant of the signals that she's giving you that she has discomfort, and you just have to be the first to remove the discomfort, right? And when she sees the pattern that every time she demonstrates a little discomfort, you remove the discomfort.
You give her a blanket.
You give her a blanket. You give her a pillow. Turn on the air. Turn off the light.
That's fucking genius, man. But then trying to take that and then apply it to like put it in a different application, because a lot of the same principles that I see, I was seeing at the time when I was studying psychology, were really relating. Because they didn't have like an evolutionary psychology program at UNR when I was there. They only had like the traditional stuff, like, humanistic stuff, or, psychotherapy, and behaviorism was the one that seemed to me the most nuts.
Abnormal psychology as opposed to sexual psychology.
And then you have to, so my field of study was behaviorism, but my focus was on personality studies. And originally I did that because I was a graphic designer and I wanted to deal with clients that were just really full of themselves, and I wanted to make sure that I could schmooze them a little bit better.
Sure.
Personality studies. And then I realized that all the stuff that I was learning with my focus on personality studies was translating into everything I was seeing on alt fast seduction, Venusian arts, Suave, which was my form.
Well, I came in with understanding psychology. Quite simply, I had a textbook that I had purchased on abnormal psychology, which is where errors in the brain reveal how the brain works, right? They use case examples. learned a lot from that. I read The Red Queen by Matt Ridley.
Remember that? Yeah.
And that clevered me up as well, right? A lot of understandings of sexual psychology have gone into the structure of a pleasing pickup, right? And what we're trying to do is idealize a pleasing pickup from meeting her to beginning a sexual relationship, that courtship timeline. We're trying to idealize it so that we can play a nice, solid game. Like, instead of manipulating a woman into your bed, what's the honorable way of doing it? What is that? What is the systematic, most honorable way, ethical game that is the way to go about it that works? That's what I've been teaching, is a structured game, a pleasing love story. You don't necessarily kiss her the first night you meet her. You may kiss her the second night. You may not kiss her the second night. You may not kiss her until the third night when she's back in your living room. It's up to her, not you. It doesn't make you an amateur because you haven't kissed her. You know, sometimes you have to say, expect nothing but great conversation as you exchange contact information so that she feels comfortable seeing you again. Then you can escalate on a day 2 after you've gotten to know each other again, you know, or more.
I got a couple more here.
It happens in phases. Learn the phases.
Yeah, I was going to say, I want to get into the phases here.
Sure.
And then gambits. CG says, I've always been in shape, triathlete body. When people ask how I'm so strong or fast, or how they ask how strong or fast I am, I genuinely say, I don't know. When learning game, can playing dumb and coming across as being a natural be more beneficial as well?
Well, as a joke, I'll say I don't know why women find me attractive. They just seem to. I wasn't given an instruction book on how to be human.
I was telling Kyle,
gaslighting.
like, before because I've met Owen Cook several times now and hung out with him a few times.
He was out yesterday.
Just yesterday. And like, when I was like, I can remember seeing Owen doing his RSD videos like on South Beach. I'm like, who the hell is fucking this guy? Right? Because I'm looking at the dude, I'm like, he looks like, you know, ginger, like Santa Claus, right? I'm like, who the fuck? And then I watched him demo it. Yeah. And I watched him here at Resorts World, walking around Resorts World with Mike and Tristan. I'm like, I get it. I totally understand.
Well, I took him under my wing for a good year or longer. He helped out with boot camps as well. So he got a lot of experience. We were in field a lot together. I've seen him perform some miraculous pickups. He's very talented in field.
Yeah.
You know, and you can tell by his character in his very wordy rants on YouTube that he's found his voice.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's something that he didn't have prior to meeting me, prior to pickup. Right. I think pickup, when you get some good reference experiences, meaning you start winning the game, it builds your confidence up, you know, and makes you express yourself in a more complete manner.
So do you think he's right? Like, play a sucker to catch a sucker, like down.
With this question here,
I don't know why I'm so attractive.
It's just gaslighting to say, you know, I don't, you know, what I've done also is there are 2 narrative arcs to choose from. Either you're pursuing the girl or the girl's pursuing you. I've chosen the girl to pursue me and I'm the prize, right? That's just a metaphor. But
thank you
changes,
for saying that, right? Too, because too many people take that too fucking seriously.
But that changes the game. It's a game changer to have her chase you. So what I do is I get them to chase me. So women who I've dated have said that they picked me up. Of course, no one believes them. I'm the pickup artist, right? From the TV show.
Yeah.
And they still say that they picked me up. You know, is it just a frame that I've set, or did they really pick me up? Right? Is it gaslighting if I you know, structure the opportunity for them to pursue me so that they will believe that they picked me up by playing hard to get? You know, it's just the better game plan, in my opinion. I'd rather have them gaming me and showing interest and trying to win me over, and I'm playing hard to get, at least for a spell until they win my heart, win me over. Then the opposite, because then I'm playing man hands. Then I'm putting my hand on her knee where she could push it off. And then I put my hand back on her knee and she pushes it off again. Why not take her hand, put it on your knee and say, that's all you get? You see the different frame?
Right.
It's a different narrative arc, getting her to pursue you. I prefer that one.
Yeah, I think it's. To his credit, I will actually cite sources here. Orion Terabon was the one who was talking about the adorer and the adoree, and it's always better to be the adoree in that sense. And that's kind of like what you're talking about here, is like being the one that is pursued. This also goes back to a concept that old school guy Royce used to talk about. It's the 2/3 rule, meaning that if she gives you 3 kisses, you give her 2. Like there's always just the slightest, to keep her coming to you, as opposed to like you're the one, so that the energy is, for lack of a better term, the energy is going back towards her as opposed to coming back towards you.
Don't hit on a girl to the point of creating discomfort. And if you accidentally do, make her comfortable again and be cognizant of her reaction to her discomfort. Right? You have to. That's what I'd call micro calibration.
Yeah, that's I wrote a book on, and that is a lost art right now. Is calibrating a lot of the stuff that you talked about in calibrating, and I've heard Owen talk about this too. I took that and I turned that into what I call incongruency. Like, not like when somebody sees me, or they see you, or they see Kyle, or they see like The Rock, or like, I'm just going to use celebrities here. Like The Rock. The Rock is huge, right? He's a bodybuilder, bald headed guy. What if you see a guy that looks like that? It doesn't have to be The Rock, but a guy that looks like that, you have a certain psychological expectation of what that guy's voice is going to sound like, what his mannerisms are going to sound like. Is he going to be sort of intimidating? Is he going to be extroverted? Is he like, because a guy who presents himself like that, we have certain preconceived concepts of what that guy's going to look like. Now, if The Rock comes up to you and he's wearing a tutu, like a pink tutu, like he was in like the Tooth Fairy or something like that, and he starts speaking with a lisp, that throws the congruency of what you were thinking he was going to be like. And so now he's kind of a little bit fey, and he's a little bit effeminate and stuff, and it's not what you were expecting at all from a guy who presents himself as The Rock, right? And so, but I'm using that as the most extreme example. So like when
preconceived notions.
Yeah, preconceived notions. And so when we see certain people, you see a guy in a 3-piece suit, you have a certain expectation of that guy. It's one of the things I talk about with the guys who are in my Reignite group, and they tend to be older. And so I'm like, play to your strengths, right? When a woman sees you and you're 40 plus years old, they're going to think that you have your shit together to some degree, right? Because an older man is supposed to be a better judge of character, have more money, have seen more of life, have more life experiences and those kinds of things.
See these wisdom lines?
Yeah.
They never slowed me down.
Yeah. And
Wisdom
I'm not saying,
and
like for me, like when people see me, like I'm 57 years old. And when people see me, they're expecting me to like they don't not dress like this.
To
not
act your age.
Act your age, or to like, why are you wearing Metallica t-shirts? What are you, 14 years old and all this stuff? Imagine being his age and playing in a band. Blah, blah, blah.
They're like, just operating from a place
because that's all you're ever going to be able to do is imagine it. But
imagine.
But the thing is, I'm like, but that got me thinking about like congruency, like between like how we present ourselves. And that's not just in our appearance, but it's how we talk, how we like project ourselves.
Sure.
A lot of the guys in my group, they struggle with talking like this.
Delivery problems.
And I'm like, dude, speak up.
Yeah.
And like everybody in the group, like if that guy has a problem like amplifying his voice, we say speak up until he'll start speaking up.
That's right.
Until you do it all the goddamn time. Right?
Another part of delivery is smiling on the open. When you first initiate the conversation, smile, talk loud, talk slowly, be heard, right? Yeah. That's all going under delivery. And your delivery will improve if you can run stories that you know. A lot of guys tell a story that is maybe the event has just occurred, right? And they can't verbalize the story properly without ums, ahs, pregnant pauses, or awkward pauses, right? So what I recommend they do is run material or stories that they've run before. Like go out in a night and run your stories all night long. Get good at them, because critically, a woman of particular quality is going to come along. She's going to be in a group, and you're going to have to critically be able to open and run that set, that set of people, right? Get good at your gambits, and you can focus then on the delivery of your gambits. Game pieces.
And I like how you use the term gambits instead of like lines or routines or scripts or something like that. Because because gambits give it a little bit more wiggle room, so you can like modify things. If something, a part of that story doesn't work, toss it out and put something else in.
Yeah, a gambit is a story. It could be an opener, a DHV story, demonstration of higher value story, or a bragging story. It could be an instant value demonstration like singing or magic, right? Or comedy. It could be a qualifier question, asking questions to the woman to get her to invest, or it could be comfort building material. Imagine having several gambits for each of the phases in pickup, so you can fill the timeline and build consistency in your pickups. It's almost like a superpower. See the girl, get the girl. But you take it in slow, solid phases. Don't skip phases, right? And you can create a mutual attraction. It's an art form.
It's funny you say
beautiful art.
Skip phases. In the player's handbook, I mentioned the fact that a lot of guys want to skip phases. They want to go straight from like they're uncomfortable with the attraction and the arousal phase, and they want to go straight to comfort because they think that that's where the pussy is. Right. And so quite honestly, they miss out on the learning opportunity, but it's also the arousal phase, the attraction phase is very fun. Yes. Why are you not having a good time while you're doing this, for fuck's sake?
That's right. That's right. And a lot of people open, shooting themselves in the foot. They open with interest. They open with seduction. You know, most men are not as seductive as women. So don't use that as your greatest skill set. Is I'm going to seduce this woman. I'm going to arouse her and seduce her, not in a public gathering where she's with her friends. You know, why not convey a comedic personality? As I've said before, the best pickup artists in the world who I've met have a laugh track in their pickups. And that just makes me more silly. It makes me join them, right? They're laughing all the way to the bedroom.
Yesterday at the Men of Action, and Tristan's like, "What's a laugh track?" I was like, "Oh, I feel fucking old." I got some more here. Let me run these.
They make
quick.
their women laugh.
Yeah,
the whole groups.
Lewis Dev says, "I've waited so long for this conversation to take place." Yeah, me too. I purchased your ebooks recently, Mystery. I'm waiting on your new book, Swallow. Thank you. Let's see.
My books, by the way, are available at askmystery.com. I've got a digital store.
Okay.
And before people learn about the structure and the material that fills in the structure, they need to start somewhere. So I've written a book called Hey Guys. It's a book of openers, 60 plus openers, just to get you started. Read the book. Pick a few, vary your openers throughout the night. You can't use the same opener all night long, especially if you're merging groups, right? Bringing the last group with you to the next group. Saying, hey, let me introduce you to some good friends I met tonight. Bringing them back to a previously open group. You need new openers. And you need to be able to stack openers, because maybe the first opener that you use doesn't reach the hook point. You don't just give up. You get in there, son, and you stack openers to keep the conversation alive. You need openers. And Hey Guys is a great way of opening a set rather than saying, excuse me. That's the vagrant.
I like that it gives like people like at least a starting point, because it's like even if you wouldn't like literally use like verbatim everything, you could still modify it to work for you.
Oh, of course. And the truth is, you know, within this book, the collection of gambits of openers are comedic in nature. They have a point to them. They're not just run-on sentences. There's a point to these stories. And when you read all of them, the whole book, you'll get a sense of what makes good openers. You can create your own. But you need to know what makes good openers by the pros. You know, find out what they're using in field. The truth is, here's my thought that I wanted to share earlier, is most of the material in that book I'm currently using. These are my current gambits that I'm opening with. And I just codified them into this book. So learn what works and use it to good health. You know, every 4 years, there's a whole new group of people coming to the club scene.
It's true.
Right? People get too old and they stop going.
Cycle out.
The young ones get old enough. They enter into the club scene, and you can use the same material as you used it on the last generation. You can use it on this generation, you know, only your delivery's tighter now.
Yeah. Let's see. Pimp Roger says 2 questions, if I may. Are you still in touch with Matador? And do you think the VH1 show could be made today?
Let's start with Matador.
Okay.
Matador dropped me off at the airport, as we would do for each other. And he said, all right, man, I'll see you on the flip side, as we usually said. And I went back to Toronto from LA. And I've never spoken to him again in 16, 17 years now. His ex-girlfriend, Erica, had contacted me asking where he is as well. So what I've learned is he's alive and well. He's living in Austin or outside of Austin. And he may have a child. I heard from Elizabeth Everett. She's in this industry as well. She told me that he had a child. So he's enmeshed in his life and is not online. He's a very smart IT professional, very smart, you know, bordering on hacker smart. So he can make himself vanish online, you know, and that's what he seems to have done. So I haven't spoken to my buddy in a long time, you know, but I hear he's alive and doing well.
Cool.
Yeah.
Now, what about could the pickup artist be made today? I'll give you my opinion, but I'll let you shoot first.
Yeah,
I don't think it could.
Yeah,
I don't think it could.
You're right. You're right. You know,
not in today's sort of intersectional gender dynamics climate. I don't think.
Which makes the show nostalgic.
Yes.
You know, in the mid 2000s, I did the show The Pickup Artist. And it's a good show. It's heartfelt. If you watch the show, it'll tug at your heartstrings, and you'll feel for the guys, you know, because they're lovable lonely, and they're trying to learn what their dads never taught them. Right. You know, that's a very interesting set of predicaments that these guys face within this reality show.
Yeah, that's one of the things. Like, I mean, I was just explaining to you guys how I was put on a DHS watch list, and I was part of the Diverting Hate NGO sort of like witch hunt for all of 2024 anyways. But I think one of the things that I think unfairly get lumped into is a lot of these people want a boogeyman. They want somebody to if there is no boogeyman, nobody gets paid, right? So there has to be a target for organizations like these NGOs, right? So myself, Mike, you, other people, just by default, just being in this sort of niche right now, it's as if they're painting us as if we are in some way like radicalizing these incels that are going to go out and like commit mass murders or something like that. And I'm like, is
this what you're getting? Because I get, to be honest,
I know you're not.
I
know you're not. But to see like what you just said about like the VH1 thing, like you have these kind of lovable losers, right? They're just trying to find love. They're just trying. They're trying to learn social skills that their fathers never taught them or they never picked up along the way. And I think that since that show, it has only been exacerbated. It's only been amplified because of social media, because we're brought up behind tablets, because these guys are learning social skills from their behind a screen instead of going out and learning live in real time what they should have learned probably when they were like 12 or 13 years old.
They need a mentor.
And they need a mentor. Exactly. Or they need, human beings learn by doing. We have to like see the behavior like, you know, exemplified by somebody else, and then
through osmosis
you can put through osmosis you can put your own spin on it, but you're still learning that behavior from somebody else. I mean, it's how primates do it, lions do, higher mammals do this. They watch the behaviors of other mammals, they learn that, and then that's becomes part of the species kind of, you know, thing. And I think right now one of the reasons why we have such a disconnect, or the reason why like so many people, like I would think anyways that like Gen Z would look at the pickup artist says, "Oh, that's so cringe." You know, "Oh, it's so cringe. I can't believe that. Oh, he wrote a book full of one-liners, you know, pickup lines. That's so cringe." It's like, yeah, if you just read them out of the book. But if you see somebody in the club using those, and you see how women respond to that. A well delivered gambit, right? It doesn't have to be verbatim. It can be just a variation on a theme, and the girl is responding to that. And you know what they say then? Oh, I can't believe she must have low self-esteem. There's always some sort of cope that comes along with that, because it's such a cynical, such a pessimistic way of looking at things, because they never go out and learn the social skills that they need. Well, so really that's what I'm teaching. That's what you're teaching. That's what Mike's teaching. Okay. Hell, that's what Aaron Clary is teaching is the social skills that your dad never taught you.
Yeah. Yeah. I have had magazine editors, magazine writers or article writers come on boot camp with me. Very cynical, coming on, going, we're going to watch
Thinking
this
you're
guy.
manipulating these guys.
Right? Mm-hmm. And by the end of it, they can't help but write a really great article about what they have witnessed, with women wrapping their arms around me, right? And embracing me. So maybe there is a guy out there that is doing it right, playing solid game, right? I worked very hard to add science to this, and then to add art to this, and then add magic to this as the literally third level, right? So I'm a scientific-minded person, and I respect that there, in courtship, there are phases, and you have to work it in phases, but the art form is in building a love story here. This is what we're doing. It's a love story.
That's why it's called PUA, not PUS.
Okay.
Pickup artists instead of pickup scientists.
That's right.
There's a definite art to
this.
There's
a beautiful art to this. And where rubber meets the road is the material or gambits you use and say in field to fill the timeline. And if you do it with good delivery, you've got a trifecta. You've got structured game with good material to fill the structure, to meet the objectives of each of the phases, to get you through them efficiently, right? And wholesomely, wholly, WHOLY. And then you work on the delivery so that it doesn't matter what gambit you run, as long as you run something that gets a laugh. If you're a comedian, right? If you're doing comedy type style pickup, right? That's the trifecta. You get those three keys under your belt and your game is going to improve. With any one key, it's going to improve dramatically. But if you do all those keys and turn them all at once, your game will improve.
Let's see.
What else we got?
Question for Mystery. Are you still cool with Courtney Love? And are you Eskimo brothers with Kurt Cobain?
Courtney was like a sister to me. That was the relationship that felt right to us, right? I got to know her quite well. She was Neil's good friend. So I was ancillary, ancillary. That's the word. That said, I did get to hang with her. And so I have many memories, good memories hanging out with her, going to Jay Leno and being backstage when she, remember she won an Oscar, right? So she went on Jay Leno. I was backstage with her, driving her to her practice nights, right? And watching them perform, or having her play just for me, sitting on the floor in front of the bathroom with her guitar, singing new songs that would be heard around the world a year later. What an honor. What an absolute honor. She is a bona fide rock star. With that comes a little crazy, but we were all a little crazy, very hyped up, energetic. One other memory I have is I was running boot camp in the living room, and Courtney took her top off and ran through the living room and ran into my bedroom and slammed the door. And one of the students looked up and said, "Was that Courtney Love?" And I said, "Welcome to Hollywood." Another memory of mine.
Oh, wow.
She was very fun, very fun. She's a rock star.
Oh, God.
Bona fide.
CGD. Rollo, why aren't you wearing a tank top like Mystery is? I'm trying to obtain uphold an image. I know,
I can't get into the Magic Castle because I'm showing my shoulders.
Yes.
I need a tie.
That's funny.
Right.
A quick story. I when I first started hanging out with Mike, whenever we would go to Zook after a show, because when we were doing Access Vegas back in the day, we'd go to clubbing right afterwards.
Sure.
Because we were doing
Encore.
We've been there before, but this was at Zook. And Zook has a definite dress code, and this was back in the early days when I didn't know that they had a definite dress code, and so I'd go in there with like kind of what you're wearing, like a muscle shirt or something like that, and they'd let me in because I was hanging out with Mike, right? But if I left the club and I came back, I couldn't get back.
Yeah. Fair enough. Enough. No, I dressed up yesterday.
Yeah. Let's see. Mystery is a goddamn legend. You're goddamn right.
Good to hear. Cheers to that, brother.
Mystery, I'm 38 and I'm getting divorced. What should my next step be for getting girls? What age range should I aim for? It's been 10 years.
Recognize that sometimes relationships don't merely end, they complete. So if you can complete your last relationship, move forward with an open heart, start working sets again, go out to public gatherings, go to rooftop patio bars. When it comes to age is just a number. As long as she's an adult and you're both, and you both like each other and it's mutual attraction, everything is fine, right? How old is he again?
I said 38, I believe.
38.
Yeah.
So how old of a girlfriend does he want? That's up to him.
Yeah.
As long as she's of age, son.
Yeah. Stay on top. This is a good one. Has Mystery ever imagined saving Elliot Rogers from himself? You know Elliot Rogers?
Yeah, I heard about him. I don't know the great detail of it. I know that there was a PUAHate.com website.
Which turned into Slut Hate later on.
Oh, did it? Okay. Well, yeah, because they
I remember
banned
that.
the PUA
exactly that day.
keyword. Well, that said, I thought it was cool to have a PUA hate site because there was a I Hate Britney website. I mean, anyone famous should have
a hate site.
A hate site, right? So PUA hate, I coined the term PUA, and they took PUA and added hate to it and made a hate site. I contributed to it. I did. I went to it, and it was all very negative stuff. But I thought, one positive thing from me is going to reach one guy who's bothering to, obviously they're reading this and it's just trash talk, right? It's fun to trash talk. But Elliot Roger was one of the members of PUA Hate.
I remember.
And so they took down PUA Hate, even though it was kind of mamby-pamby. It wasn't, it was just words, sometimes in capitals.
Yeah.
Ooh, you wrote in capitals. No way. You're yelling at me now. And they took down that website. I don't know. I know he was a member, but I don't know why they took the website down because he was a member. He was contributing.
I think they thought of it as like along the similar lines when I was talking about me being on a DHS watch list. It's not enough. It's not enough to just have incels. You have to have somebody who is sort of like the king of the incels. You have to have somebody who is like behind the scenes, like Svengali, puppet masters, that kind of stuff. And that's the thing that gets me is like, I'm not necessarily on board with incels, obviously, but when I see them sort of unjustly, maliciously, made fun of or used as sort of like this boogeyman that they need, then I'm going to step in. Then I'm going to I'm not an incel, but if it means I got to defend them to sort of defend certain points, then I'm going to do that. And I think one of the things that Elliot Rogers was, you got to remember that was 11 years ago.
Every dog eventually has his day,
right?
People have to know that.
Back. Like how many? Okay, can you name anybody else? Is there any other incels that are like have gone on shooting sprees since Elliot Rogers? Can we make somebody give me Elliot one or Rogers, two, but from the last 11 years? It was
a strange story.
Yeah.
There's some conspiracy around it that I'm not privy to.
I had a guy ask me one time, he says, do you think that some of these guys are ready to hear like the red pill or to learn this stuff? And I'm like, some guys simply aren't. But that's neither here nor there. The genie's out of the bottle right now. There's nothing I can really do about that except for try to do the best and be as responsible, ethical game as you possibly can. And what I don't think the mainstream really understands is that there's a definite effort on my part, your part, Mike's part, everybody else. Like Mike's all about action, massive action all the time.
Man of action.
I'm about responsibility. I'm about pragmatism. I'm about, you know, and you're about ethical game and everything. Those are the stories that don't get told because they don't generate clicks. We're not frothing at the mouth, you know, trying to say, oh, you know, girls are all like this. That's what they're looking for because that's what entertains.
Let's zoom back to incels for a moment. Just had a thought to share about that. There's hope for an involuntary celibate. A man isn't getting laid yet. You know, every dog eventually has his day. There's hope because there are women out there who are angels and very good sports. Right? I've seen and had students who were born and raised in a wheelchair and got married, you know, to someone who wasn't in a wheelchair. There's hope. I'm just out to say that love is real. And if a woman loves you, she'll give her body to you as a shared experience. It's not about trying to get sex. Play love game.
Let's see. Two great men that started their own worlds. Wow, we started. And Red Pill and Pickup. I do Pickup for years. It works, but been spinning plates for years. How do I find love?
Ooh, I'm still looking for love.
Yeah, we'll let you know. We'll write the book when we figure that out. No, I mean, I've been in love with my wife for like, going out 30 years now. So,
okay.
But the thing is I'm not going to, like I said, I know what works for me.
Yeah.
I can't tell you what's going to necessarily work for, I mean, I can sort of give you suggestions and hints and analyze the situation.
There's so many lovable people out in the world, especially when you get to know them for 20, 30 minutes, you start getting a sense of who they are and you can fall for them, you know, go have fun, go meet girls, you know, and their friends, go interact with people, go fall in love. Fall in love with them all. You know,
that's what makes it fun, and that's what makes it interesting. Okay, so here's another one. Galtar says, to mystery, for good-looking guys who get easy attraction from women when infield, is it better to start from the very beginning at A1, or is it better to start at C1?
Lots of comfort. Right? There's lots of beautiful people. No, you don't want to start in C1. Certainly, you're not attractive enough. You only have a body and a face. Your personality sucks. You're going to red flag yourself.
It's almost like your looks can may help you bypass the attraction phase.
My game beats.
I don't think so.
My game beats athletic guys in field. Sorry, I'm better. It's personality conveyance that women are choosing. It's there are women who choose men for their intelligence, their wit, their wisdom, their intelligence. They're seeking intelligence. So they test us for it, right? Shit tests or congruence tests, right? And if you don't pass the tests, well, then red flags galore appear and you lose the girl. They're picking based on personality. Any dick will do. But some dicks are special.
Yeah. The guy who's in my band, Jake, he's a drummer in my band. Now, Jake is like, how tall do you think he is? What, 5'6"? 5'6". 5'6", yeah, 5'6". So this dude turns more tail than any guy I have ever. I went through the LA metal scene. He turns more tail than anybody I've ever seen. And he's not a bad looking dude. He's not like yoked, but he's trying to get yoked. But he has a good face, right? But I was like, what the fuck is this guy doing? That he's like 5'6". And he must be charming. It's just his mannerisms. He's he's not. I mean, I guess he's kind of extroverted a little bit. Extroverted, but it's the nice angle. It's the night, yeah, exactly. He's approachable. He can have a conversation with the guy.
We can bring up Neil Strauss as an example. You know, he's short, he's bald, but bald is sexy. Balding's not sexy. It's not a choice. Bald is sexy, right? So he shaves his head. Looks good in a suit.
That's it. I'm shaving my head.
Right? But looks good in a suit. And he plays his strong points. And what Neil's strongest point is he's smarter than you and I put together. He's really smart, like super smart. You can tell in his writing how genius he is, right? But when he meets the right girl who sees his genius, that's when it's on. Mm-hmm. He's not getting them because he's Neil Strauss and he's written books and lives in a mansion. He can't bring the mansion to the club, right? Mm-hmm. It's just his personality, and that's enough. Mm-hmm. That's enough.
Certainly gets your foot in the door. That's for sure. Yeah, I love it. Like, there's a lot of guys who are like the looks maxers, right? Where it's like it's all about looks. It's all about height. Like I think when you came on Access Vegas, first thing I asked you was like how tall you are, right?
Well,
and whether or not that
Neil
has been like
Strauss is not a tall man, and he did great.
Yeah, I don't think height is necessarily as disadvantageous as a lot of guys want to make it seem to be. I mean, unless you're like, 4'11" or something like that. I mean, you're going to say you're fighting at a disadvantage, but there's ways that you can
I think Mr. Dinklage has no problems.
Yeah, Mr. Dinklage. Yeah.
Fair?
Yes, I agree. Let's see.
Personality.
Also, what's your workout mystery? What's your workout routine? That's it right there.
I wake up.
That was it, right?
I roll a joint. I smoke it. That's my workout.
That's your workout routine?
That's my workout. Yeah, no, I'm not currently working out. I have an injury in my shoulder. And so I'm applying patience to having it heal. And it's taken 1.5 years.
Oh.
So that's where I'm at.
Well, you moved to Las Vegas. We'll take you to Powerhouse Gym.
Yeah. I need some therapy on my arm first. I need some tender loving
We got
care.
that here too.
A nice sports massage every day.
1995 at the Thai massage place. What do we got here? Some people consider Neil Strauss's The Truth and Mystery's Depression episode as a debunk of Pickup and the Red Pill. What do you think?
Well, I heard my girlfriend having sex with my best friend, and it felt like she had died because I wasn't going to see her again, right? So I went into grieving. Our grieving circuits will prematurely trigger. When you break up with the girl, we call it heartbreak. I was heartbroken for 6 days, and it got written about in a book, right? How did I get out of it? I started anew. I went out by myself. People were saying, where are you going?
Took action.
I took action. I grieved for 6 days. It was horrible. I thought she had died. It felt like she had died, a woman that I loved, right? So that was 6 days of pain, and I got out of it by getting out of the house.
And on the 7th day?
Yeah, on the 7th day, I got a phone number, put it in my pocket, came home, and all the love that I had for the ex-girlfriend who I could never see again went to hope of the next girl, right? So I just moved forward. The best advice I can give for handling heartbreak is to get out of the house, move on, and find your next partner, because that's what you're grieving. You're grieving the role of having a companion, right? And it's not necessarily the woman that you broke up with that you're grieving over. You're grieving over the selfishness of not having the role fulfilled. Right. So move forward and you'll find someone better.
One of the other things,
there's always someone different.
There's also, I think a lot of guys, if they realize this, because I 100% agree with what you're saying, but there's also a biochemical aspect of it too. So like when you are especially when you're feeling that euphoric feeling, when you finally got with somebody and you're having sex all the time and it's good and you're infatuated with that person.
Honeymooning.
That honeymoon phase, and you're in love with that person and everything else. And you're basically a drug addict at that point, because your glands are producing a biochemical cocktail that is conducive to you staying with that person and being parentally invested with that person, and to starting a family and everything else.
That's a lot of scientific words to say. Love,
right? Like I'm breaking it down. Let's bear with me. I have a point. But the thing is like once you take that away, right, this is Rollo, the behavioral psychologist talking. Right, once you take the reward mechanism away, once the girl is banging your best friend, or she's gone, or maybe she's dead, right, or whatever it is. Once you take that reward away, it's what's called operative conditioning, right? Because it's like if you give a rat a pellet every time it hits the lever, that's like just a regular reinforcement, right? And then you go, okay, every third time it hits the lever,
intermittent
reward, right? But it knows that after 3, pop, 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 and then it comes out. Right? If you go pop, 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 and then one comes out, you don't know what the actual sequence is.
That's right.
Then that's really intermittent right there. But
yeah.
The other one is scheduled reinforcement. But the thing is once you take away the reward altogether, and it starts slamming the thing, and it'll run around 3 times and hit the thing. However, it'll come up with all these novel new,
and then pout.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that's what's called an extinction burst, meaning that you are removing the reward for that behavior, and now you're trying all of these novel behaviors to reestablish the good feelings again. And so, what's the first thing guys do when they break up with a girlfriend? They go down to the corner bar and they get blackout drunk. Right. And the reason why they do that is because the drunk, the dopamine hit and the euphoric feelings and the endorphins that come from being drunk simulate a cheap simulation of the dopamine hits and the chemical cocktail they were getting when they were fucking that girl and when they were infatuated and in love with that girl. Now that biochemical reward is gone. So what do? We try to find ways to replace that. Yeah. And I tell guys that when they get into that situation, the best thing they can do is take action, go out and do game, go do whatever. On the 7th day, he gamed. But be careful that you know that if you know that ahead of time, okay, I know I'm going to go into depression. I know my body's going to want to get with this girl, and the reason why I can't stop thinking about her, or I can't stop imagining her with this guy. Like I have guys who are like they're like three years out from being cheated on. I can't get it out of my head.
That's right.
Yeah,
that's
because you never
heartbreak.
fucking took action, and all you do is just repeat it. And what happens? You get that same biochemical feedback loop once again. And so, but finding ways to constructively and healthily create that dopamine hit with other things. Go listen to loud music. Go lift at the gym. Go out and game. Go out and do something creative. Go do something else that's not drinking. That's not like shooting shit in your arm or whatever else, right? And a lot of guys like it's discontent, and there's 2 ways to deal with discontent: creatively or destructively. And those guys end up doing it destructively. Sorry, go ahead.
I forget what I was going to say.
Let's move on to the next one. Let's move on to the next one. This is Siege once again. I have no approach anxiety, courtesy of...
Of course you do.
Of course you do.
If it's important, you'll have it.
Yes.
The best pickup artists in the world.
If you didn't care, you wouldn't have any sense of urgency about it. Courtesy of talking to Rollo and Sartain, but I have a problem with talking too much to women. What are some good social cues for continuing conversations versus asking new questions?
Yeah, his mind is completely fucked up. I don't like how he opened with that sentence. That was too
verbose.
Yeah. No, there's no such thing as talking too much. It's saying the right thing at the right time. When you open, you use an opener. When you go to the next phase, you start demonstrating higher value. You start getting them to laugh with your humorous anecdotes. That's the second phase. In the third phase, you then start showing a little interest. Just asking her a question is showing interest. So you wait 3 to 5 minutes before you start querying them, and you ask them qualification questions, and then you move off into comfort building gambits. Right? There's a time and place to run your material. Right now, he's just most likely using attraction, comfort, seduction all in once. He's not using structure. He's not using material. He's just talking. He's ranting to the girls, or worse, bantering, and it's leading nowhere, and he's getting disappointed. But he's not afraid of the approach.
Yeah.
Okay.
You can get there, but what do you do once you're there?
You're not good at pickup if you're not afraid of the approach.
Yeah.
She's not hot enough.
Yeah.
You're going after.
Go ahead. Stop going after. She's hot. That's true, man. That's absolutely true. Oh shit, that's great. You were before I get on to the next one. Yesterday when we were at MOA, you were talking about being talkative.
That's the state to get yourself into, rather than a confident state. Get into a talkative state. If you're talkative, you can convey your personality and the game is played, right? But if you're just in a confident state, you may not have competence and you'll not get the girl, right? So train. Literally run material, your gambits, on various people throughout the night, and do that 4 nights a week. Go out more than you stay home. It's fun. And in 6 weeks from now, when a woman of particular quality comes along in a 5-set, a mixed set with guys in the set, you can critically open that set successfully and run all the material you've gotten good at with the delivery of, run all at once as core material on your next girlfriend. That's how you get good. You got to get good at something in this game. Your gambits. If you don't have gambits, what are you getting good at? Then it's just a free-for-all every time, going freestyle on the open. It may work, it may not work, right? Where's the science in that?
Nowhere. Yeah. Do Lucario and friends have a point that sometimes you over-intellectualize dating and game? Me or you? I don't think there is such a thing as over-intellectualizing.
No, you can't overthink this.
No. I mean, if anything, I think it's a mistake to oversimplify things.
Yeah.
Because then it's like, I mean, and maybe because I know you're a big proponent of like indirect game.
Yes.
What do you see as being the problem with direct game?
It telegraphs interest on the open, right? And it lays all your cards out on the table, and it makes her feel discomfort. And anyone she's with will feel discomfort. If you walk up to a girl in a 2-set, that's 2 people together, and you say, wow, you're really beautiful. What about the other woman? Isn't she beautiful too? Why don't you say, you two look beautiful tonight? Why not? Why just one? Right? That's direct game. Direct game is a 1-note song, and it's very embarrassing, and people should stop it in public gatherings. You know, unless you're a teenager, don't go to a mall, right? That's for teenagers. It's not for adults. It's for teenagers and families. That's it. That's what you're going to find in a typical mall. Stay away from the malls.
I think that the reason why, and onto more to this topic, I think one of the reasons why direct game is more popular amongst certain subsets of people is because it seems like it is eliminating the needless game playing and just getting down to the meat of the matter.
Yeah, but it's the training
oversimplification.
I find it you know, fascinating that people are trying to use a skill set they have not yet developed.
Right.
That's why they're going direct, because they think it's manly, you know, to
I ain't wasting time with nobody.
Convey your intentions, right? I want you. Do you want me? No. Gone forever.
It's like Wes Watson game. Stop being a little bitch. That's all it is. It's like,
right.
Come on, like that's your solution to everything.
No,
I'm not making enough money. Stop being a little bitch.
There's an art to this, and I think of this game as a game of chess. It's not a game of checkers. It's not a game of bravado, right? It's strategy. It's a game of chess. And yes, you can win in 4 moves in the game of chess. That's called fool's mate. But that doesn't make you a chess master. It just makes the opponent naive. So these guys are getting regular mid-range women, if I may be respectful to them, and they're not going for the score. You know, and the score takes 25 to 35 moves. In other words, play a solid game on a girl that's attractive and draw her into your life for real, so you don't get buyer's remorse the next day, right? Or worse, a one-night stand, and it's because she doesn't want to be with you again. Even if you get a one-night stand, to me, that's a failure in your pickup, because you didn't establish a mutual attraction, a mutual comfort, and a mutual relationship, a sexual relationship that can go on. I want my students to enjoy sex with their new partner at least 3 times to demonstrate a pattern of it being a sexual relationship, and then find a marriage counselor from then on. I don't, you know, I go from meet to beginning a sexual relationship. That's what I focus on. Courtship. The beautiful timeline of courtship.
One of the things I covered in the Player's Handbook actually was inspired by you as well when it comes to direct versus indirect game. Now, there is a really great book by Robert Greene called The 33 Strategies of War. And which is not just about war. It's about conflict. It's about competition. It's about overcoming obstacles and things like that. But one of the things he talks about is two different ways to fight a war. One is through attrition. Throw as many bodies at the other guy as possible and just hope you wear them down. I'd say just put enough bodies against the wall until the wall comes down, right? And then there's winning a war or fighting a war through strategy. That's maneuvering. That's flanking maneuvers. That's like, figuring out the psychology of your opponent and everything else. That strategy. And I thought about that and I go, that's the difference between direct game and indirect game. Indirect game is a game of strategy, whereas direct game is a game of attrition. It's throwing as much like identify. No, okay, on to the next.
Yeah,
you know,
and your burn rate is very high. You have to ask a lot of women on the streets, and it's not good for training. You know,
they
women of beauty are in groups.
They don't understand. Like, and I think this was you that I quoted in this. They don't understand that to learn how to do direct game, you have to know indirect game before you can bypass those steps to make that direct game effective
if
at
you
all.
want to shortcut it and you're a pro, by all means. But if you don't know how to run a set normally, you know, for 25 to 40 minutes is a typical set, don't expect your little direct game 3 minute to pick up. Don't expect that to work. Yeah. You know, it's a one-note song.
The girls that you would have gotten by using indirect game, you will lose using direct game, and vice versa. So it's like, it's better before you can use and understand how direct game works, because from back in the day when the seduction community was in full swing, there were guys who wanted to go. That's the reason we even know about direct game is because guys go, maybe if I skipped these little sub phases because I'm just wasting my time there and I just get down to point B. But they already knew what those were in the first place. They didn't just go, just ask random chicks out if they're down to fuck.
They don't want to develop the skill set. They just want a girlfriend so they don't have to. But that's a downward spiral.
Yeah. Let's see. Shout out to Mystery. He's an OG.
OG.
We're both OGs.
Yes, sir.
Wanted to, maybe that's what she called the group. Wanted to ask what he thinks is the biggest difference now to when he started coaching social dynamics, for example.
I changed what I teach now from what I used to teach. I've become more effective, and my students' results are more effective, because I've been doing this for some 25 years, close to. And I've also asked backwards my teachings. You know, the things I would teach on a day 3, I teach on day 1 now. I've just switched things around and made it more efficient. And I teach less about theory. There's a time for theory, but it's not on boot camp. On boot camp, I'm getting to, this is what you need to do to prepare for tonight, right? We prepare our cheat sheets in a structured manner so we can fill the 25 minutes it takes to pick up a girl, to convey enough interest in her and enough demonstrations of higher value so she demonstrates interest in you. It takes time to pick a girl up. You know, to make her come home with you, it may take a little while. You know, is she worth the time? That's the question.
Yeah, evaluating that. Yeah, understanding that is a key. Like, am I wasting time with this person? That's right. I look at, like, I'm sure you've probably seen the Karate Kid. You know, remember wax on, wax off,
and Cobra Kai.
I always think of like the wax on, wax off part as sort of like, that's game. Like, you're learning muscle memory and all this stuff. You have to go out there and practice. You have to go out and do the thing. And you're like, well, what the fuck am I doing this for? I don't know. But then you have to know that before you can understand the theory of karate.
There's a lot of
when you put it in simplistic terms like that, people tend to like.
But there's a lot of parallels between martial arts and the Venusian arts. True. You know,
in fact, that was one of the things.
They're both equally large bodies of knowledge, and they have split into different schools of thought. Right. Same with Venusian arts. There's day game, night game,
social circle game.
There's direct game, indirect game. Right. There's the different levels of games: social circle game, merging sets, social proof game. Right. It's all broken up into these different schools of thought. My school of thought is gambit-centered game. Some people are against it. They want to freestyle, but there's no science in freestyling. It's 50-50 every
you
time
are the Bruce Lee of game.
You know, know your moves. Know your moves. Practice them. Know them. Run them. Get good at them. Get good at the delivery of your stories, and stick to the stories that you're good at. Don't start inventing on the fly, because it may go south.
True. Dear Sir Mystery, do you think women are addicted to drama so much that they ignore love and good men?
Okay, there are 4 billion human beings that are female. so I'm not going to generalize. He's just operating from not having a lot of experience. I'm surmising, a small data set. Mm-hmm. So for him, he's gotten a certain type of girl. Meet more chicks.
Spin more plates, my friend.
There are beautiful, lovely, intelligent women out there that are looking for you. Mm. Go find them.
Yeah, you just have to be the one to go and discern whether or not that's the right one for you.
Mm-hmm.
That's what.
And talk to everybody, mm-hmm. but when you choose one to become your girlfriend, pick wisely, because mm-hmm. it could become heaven on earth with the right girl, or hell on earth with the wrong girl. Choose wisely. Look at the red flags that people give. Mm-hmm. We have a whole phase called qualification. Mm-hmm. Qualify the girl. Ask her questions that, whose answers will determine whether you're going to hang out with her on a day 2 or not. Mm-hmm. It's the whole phase.
Cyberpunk says, I'm 24, male, and completely ignored by girls. Any tips? By the way, do you think Barney Stinson from How I Met Your Mother is a caricature of mystery? Cheers.
No, he's not. But I love that character.
Really?
Barney Stinson is great.
Really?
I love the man, NPH.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Neil Patrick Harris. He's so super talented. Can sing, can dance, can act, can do everything. He's a superhero. Mm-hmm. A good role model. Why not? Mm-hmm. Because he's playful. It's funny. As long as you're funny, then you're non-threatening. Mm-hmm.
So this guy's 24. He says he's completely ignored by girls. Any tips?
Yeah, that makes no sense. I mean, you're not gaming. Are you getting out of the house? Did you game 12 sets a night, 4 nights a week for the last 6 weeks? No. Okay, so you're not
wax
in the
on,
game.
Wax off.
You're not in the game. The game is 12 sets a night. Mm-hmm. Hey, we're gaming tonight. That means 12 sets a night. You get 6 sets. You only did half as much. You should be disappointed with yourself, because there's always a dozen sets available in any public gathering. There's 3 dozen sets. You're only choosing 1 dozen per night. And out of them, you'll choose 3 numbers. 3 numbers a night is a good night out. You do that 4 nights a week. You got 12 numbers of girls who want to see you again. Then invite them all out to a barbecue. At least 6 of them will show up
on social scene.
Yeah, at least 6 of them will show up, and maybe they're friends, and you have a nice barbecue, and you have options, and girls chasing you, and jealousy plot lines, and
if you know how to cook, you get some good food too.
Right? No doubt. No doubt. He just has to game. It has nothing to do with girls don't notice me. Girls aren't going to notice you. You got to become noticed. Get out of the house. Go game.
One thing, I'll get to the rest of these here in a second, but one of the things that we were talking about, both at the immersion and yesterday at MOA, was the difference between inner game and outer game. And I think that's something like my viewers really need to listen to, because I post.
How do you define inner game?
Well,
how do we define outer game? Let's define them.
Outer
first.
game to me is taking action and going and doing stuff, like putting it into practice.
That's
wax
right.
on, wax on is outer game.
The gambits you run.
Gambits, understanding. But I do think that there is, I don't want to completely discount or shit on inner game. I just think that inner game has become something of a marketing tool these days, where it's like, it's inner game to me anyways, is understanding the principles, understanding the theory, so that you can use that to adjust and to work on your outer game. So because I look at it this way, the scientific process is theory and practice. And both of those are incomplete without the other. So I come up with a hypothesis. This is the red pill. Here, this is what we see in human nature. This is what we see in males and females and everything else. And here's the confluence of the two. This is just the praxeology of the red pill, intersexual dynamics. Great. How can we use this shit outside in the real world? What's best practices?
How do we apply it
to all this? Yeah, how do we apply it? Yeah. What are best practices? Okay, that's where you get pickup artist. That's where you get MGTOW. That's where you get doom pill. All this other crap too. But it's also goes into, how are you applying this in the clubs? How can I best use this to my best advantage? How can I leverage this? Right.
That's my focus.
So you go then and you take the hypothesis and you go out into the field and you say, does this work? Did it work? No. Okay, it didn't. Well, let's take it back to the lab, adjust it a little bit. What if we tweak this and this and this, and then go out there, experiment, bring back the results again? As I said, one is incomplete without the other.
This scientific procedure or method is exactly what I did to build and codify what I discovered, right? To build the what I call the M3 model. It's backwards engineered from that which worked. You know, I got girls in my life. They stuck around. I had girlfriends, right? How did I do it? I codified that in the book, The Mystery Method, How to Get Beautiful Women into Bed. I codified the structure. Then at my boot camps, I go into the material to fill in the structure, which changes and is unique for every individual, right? Like a comedian. They have a beginning, middle, and ending to their act. They all do. They have a beginning, middle, and ending, but the way they begin, the way they do their mid game and their end game, their last joke, you know, to leave the stage is different. Build your performance, build your repertoire of gambits and perform something. A pickup artist is a performing artist. Perform something. Don't just go in there and wing it.
So when it comes to the inner game side of things, I think that, strictly speaking, from my perspective, is that it's really about the theory, and it's about like understanding the dynamics that are going on that you can take into the field and then do the practice for. What I think inner game has become is a commercialized enterprise right now, where it's like, oh, we're going to heal our inner child, and we're going to learn how to, you know, forgive ourselves, and oh, it's too bad that mommy beat you when you were a little kid, and you can't go out into the field, you can't live your life, you can't do jack shit until you fix all this, until you go to therapy or whatever. It's usually like when I hear women saying, oh, it's so sexy when guys are in therapy, it's like, no, it's not. It's sexy when you meet a guy in the club and he knows what the fuck to say to you. But I think what we've done is we've sort of taken the female model of therapy and applied it to quote unquote inner game. And so what it does is it keeps you paralyzed. It's a form of sedation. It holds you in place, and it's a reason for you not to go out and do wax on, to go out there and into the
another excuse making muscle.
Well, and then we were saying what I quoted you on this, which was, you said that your outer game will solve the issues of your inner game.
Nothing like success to validate a man and his game and his skill set.
How good are you going to feel once you've
told a girl?
Yeah.
Once you have a girl in your life who believes in you,
suddenly your inner game issues just float away.
you will believe in the world when a woman believes in you. You'll believe in the world again. Things will get good. It'll become heaven on earth again. You know.
Well, I love it when like people are like, well, you know, you can't find love until you love yourself. And I'm like, how about this? Go out, pull a chick, fall in love with her, and then suddenly realize that you also love yourself. Like, why? Yeah. Because you successfully pulled a chick.
That's right. It validates you as a man, and it validates your game.
That's right. Let's go here. Great work, both of you. Can you recommend some material for openers in social media? Tinder, Bumble, etc., to draw as much as possible attention.
Yeah, stay off social media. Off the apps. They're saturated. They're I'm a magician, and I have given it consideration. It's a mathematical trick. They're making money to not get you the girl.
It's called churn marketing.
Yeah. So it's
keep you in the churn.
It's a trick. And it's a trick to keep you from getting to the parties. If you don't get to the party, no one will miss you. The parties are happening without you, pal. You know, if you get to the party, you can play the game. You can meet girls. They're out there.
Yeah. Any app, which is basically all of them, any app that uses a tournament scoring or a tournament style ranking system, that's rigged. Okay. That's rigged.
I don't want my matchmaker to gamify the process. You know, I swipe enough times and sparkles on Luxie. I just
confetti,
right? You won a free match. And only $40 a month, and you
send her a rose.
Send her a rose. You know, let's stop playing those games. Those are getting in the way of actually building the skill set that you require to pull a girl into your life and keep her.
Yeah, that is not wax on, wax off. Thanks for the critique, Mystery. Got me thinking. Okay, good.
Fair.
Thank you.
Good to hear. Good feedback.
Okay, here we go. I'm not even going to try that. 17-year marriage fell apart in 2010. The gods led me to fall upon style and mystery. And mystery, you changed my life, brother. To this day, I'm grateful.
That's great to hear.
Go.
Great feedback.
Isn't that awesome? That's the best part.
Of course.
I love it. When, I tell guys all the time, it's like, I don't need like awards or accolades. I just want to see what you did. Well, what did you do with the material?
One of my students in New York City met a girl, and he sent me a picture of them together, and he started a relationship with her. Right. And that was just New York before I did my boot camp here in Las Vegas. Right. I'm really proud of him. I'm really pleased that he took what he learned, applied it, and now has a relationship that he's budding.
Yeah.
You know, good for him, man. He deserves it. He's a good guy.
That's one of the things I always put in. Well, I put it at the end of my last book, but I usually put this in some form in my books. Is like, I'm not in the business of making men better men. I'm in the business of giving men the tools and the equipment and the things that they need to make themselves better men. Because I look at it this way, because I'm an artist, right? So like I said, look, I can give you an easel, I can give you paint brushes, I can give you paints, I can give you turpentine, I can give you a palette knife, I can give you all this, but you're the canvas. So do you want your canvas to be the picture that you paint, or do you want it in color by numbers, where you put in, whatever color goes with that, whatever number? I said, eventually at some point, you're going to have to be the artist that paints the story and a picture of your own life. I can only give you the tools to do that. But when you have done that, show me the picture. I just want to see the fucking picture.
Yeah.
Right? Because that to me is more satisfying than book sales, than anything else. It's just to see what's gone on with these guys. And especially if it's something like, oh, you saved my life. I was going to commit, suicide the other day, and I didn't because I came across your material.
I've had some dark messages too.
Yes.
But hopeful.
Taking foreign language courses at uni always seems to work. Does this have to do with people simply being more extroverted and sharing stories?
Let's move on. It makes no sense to me.
Yeah. I do want to talk about storytelling here in a second.
Sure.
Because I got to finish that story I was started with you yesterday.
Which was this?
That was I'll remind you.
All right.
Okay. Cheers, fellas. Thank you for that. And Sir Mr. Jason, good to see you, Rollo. I see you have the man, the myth, the legend, master of the game, the wise sensei of dating. Thank you, Sir Mr. Jason.
That's the situation.
That is. Thoughts on men pulling back attention and sex due to disrespect in marriage. Not doing what I asked her to do led to a problem.
You want to start?
Do you think you can use push-pull in a marriage, in a relationship situation?
That's relationship business. There are some valuable tools in the courtship process that you can utilize in the relationship for management, right? Such as every few weeks going out with your girlfriend as a power couple to public gatherings, meeting people, so she knows that if she were to dump you, you'd have another girl in the week. You have options, just like she would.
Competition,
right? And so she'll appreciate you more. And when you go home with her, you demonstrate sincerity by spending your valuable time with her over any other person, right? She has to see that every few weeks or so.
Be reminded.
Yes, gentle reminders, not a full-blown jealousy plot line, but gentle reminders that you have options and continue to choose her despite them,
Right. I think that's...
she'll value you more.
Oh, man, that leads to another question I have. That I was going to say is, like, I've been married for 29 years, and I have effectively used, but certainly leaned on, let's just say, the concept of dread, which is just like, is this guy is he the best I can do? I think that once you get into a relationship, particularly you get into a marriage, there are fewer and fewer opportunities for guys to demonstrate higher value, to demonstrate social proof or pre-selection, without like trying to manufacture it yourself, because then it looks like you're cheating. Then it looks like it's an ultimatum at that point. And I've always made
some guys give up.
Oh yeah,
they get the girl.
Yeah,
they think I got the girl.
I don't have to worry about it.
And
anymore.
now we give up, and you wear your long johns in around the house with no shirt, and your sexiness goes out the window.
Yeah, there's no ambition, no drive.
Eating a bowl of cereal from a giant Tupperware bowl. Nothing sexy about that. You give up. You got to keep the relationship alive. The set is still running. You just ran the marriage gambit on her. you know, and let's see how long the marriage gambit lasts. 3 months, 6 months, a year, you know, 5 years. It's a 5-year set. One of my sets, I've got a baby mama. This set has been on and off again. It's off now, you know, amicably. It's gone on for, well, my daughter's 18. So for 19 years, I've known this woman, you know, my children's mother. It's a set that's still running.
Right. And will be running for quite some time.
And it'll be running for
forever.
quite some time.
Yes.
That's right.
That's true.
You know, but there was a time I didn't know her. Now I know her. Now I have children. You know, it's a set that still runs.
Yeah.
I have a relationship with her, you know?
Yeah, I was going to say is like Mike tried to get me into this too, but when we were at the immersion, I've been doing Access Vegas for coming up on 3 years now, and you've been on the show, so you know the tier of girls that we have on the show. Sir. And so my wife has always known what I've done, whether it was working in casino marketing, or I was playing in bands, or I was doing what I do now, right? Or I worked in wine and spirits for a while, as well as doing promotional stuff. And so I've always been around beautiful women, and always sometimes I had to pick them out for like promos and stuff like that. And so there's this, I think, unspoken knowledge of the fact that I'm around beautiful people all the time. And so the opportunity is there. And when we go out to like Babes in Toyland, or we go, like if I take her to some of these events, it's a casual, like non-invasive, passive reminder of my value. Right? Right. And so if I'm walking through the club from valet to wherever the club is, at one of the casinos or something like that, it doesn't have to be girls come up to me. It can be guys. They'll be like, "Hey man," you say, "Hey, can I take a selfie with you?" You know, that kind of stuff. That's not something that she gets reminded of on a daily basis, but maybe once every 3 months, every 4 months, right?
Reminders. And don't you hate?
I mean, she sees me on the show, so I guess that's a reminder too.
Don't you hate when this happens? You're out with your wife. Someone wants a picture with you, and they hand her the phone, camera. Yes. You're like, "Can we have some feminine energy in this picture, please?"
Yeah, she's a good sport about it too.
You know, that's embarrassing.
I have had that happen. But she's happy to do it. But the thing is that there is, like, people want to say that, "Oh, I wouldn't want to be like Rollo. He has to run game on his wife all the time." I'm like, no, I don't. No, I am the game. I don't game
my friends.
Yeah. Well, and the other thing is like it's become such second nature. It's become such a part of my personality that she's shit. And by the way, your wife, in the best of circumstances, will still shit test you or fitness test you or whatever you want to call it. And it's like, I see that, and without even thinking about it, I know what my response is going to be. Right? And so it's not like something that I have to like collate and like, build these like, these schemes upon. It's like, it's just who I am now. And I think internalizing,
you're relating.
Yeah. Internalizing game, like we were saying with your baby mama, right? It's like she's a set that's going to keep going on forever, but it's not like you're going, okay, I can, well, she said A, B, and C, and I can respond with A, B, C, D, or F. Like that's not the thing.
No, we're in a good place, her and I, and there's no gaming needed. Yeah, to balance what we have with our children.
But I think that a lot of people think that it's just this never-ending laundry list of sort of micromanaging every little thing that you're going to say and everything you do. I'm like, if that's the case, then it's just an act for you.
It's just critical in the first 25 minutes of meeting somebody. The first 30 seconds is critical. The first 3 seconds is critical. You got to open 3 seconds. It'll buy you the next 30 seconds. If you don't telegraph interest, you appear to be interesting, not interested, but interesting. That'll buy you the next 30 seconds. Those 30 seconds will buy you the next minute. That'll buy you the next 3 minutes, right? You got a baby step in with your story sequencing, right? When you're 5 minutes in, you can already say, "Hey, come join me for a second," and move them to a sit down. And that buys you another 3 minutes, right? If you can fill 25 to 40 minutes, the phone number exchange that takes place at the end of it or sometime within it will be worth something. She has invested in you. But if you get her phone number in 2 minutes and then leave, she was just trying to get rid of you.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah. So when I was talking, I told this story when we were at immersion, and I don't know if I've ever told it on this show before. But like I was doing Access Vegas here. I think I told you this. I was doing Access Vegas, and I went down to go pick up one of the girls at the building here because you have to go down and let them in, right? Went down there, and there's this beautiful girl that's waiting outside to come in. I'm like, oh, she must be on the show, right? So I go down there. I let her. You remember this? I go in. I go, hey. I said, are you Tatiana or whatever the fuck her name was? And she's just. Yeah, because she just wanted to get in the building because she wanted to go see her friend, right? She wasn't part of the show, but I didn't know that.
Exactly.
And so I turn it on like automatically, like, hey, I'm trying to be, extroverted and everything. And I'm just defaulting to game, but not like game, like I'm going to go fuck this chick. It's just like catch and release kind of stuff, you know? And so I'm there and I'm talking to her like, oh yeah, the show's going to start here. And then I get into the elevator here and I'm like, oh shit. This is not the girl that I was supposed to pick up. She's just some random chick that was trying to get into the building. And I'm like, you're not Tatiana, are you? She goes, no. And I'm like, oh my God. I said, I'm not a creep. I'm not trying to kill you. I'm not trying to like get you back to my to my apartment or something. She's like, I'm fine. You know, she looks like she was like enjoying herself.
Sure.
Well, I am like throwing like all this and having these conversations with her and like, I'm, for lack of a better term, maybe gambits or whatever, just like talking to her because I want her to feel good when she's on the show because I thought she was a guest on the show.
I hear you.
And I'm like, okay, we have to go to the 4th floor and I have to show you that I'm not bullshitting you. So I brought her in here and Mike's here with all the girls and I'm like, who the fuck is this?
if I may, I
brought her in because it's second nature.
Yeah,
because it's been internalized for so long with me that that's just what I naturally default to. And I'm the same way with my wife. It's like, I just start, you know, you say gaming her, but it's like, it's not really gaming. It's just who I am.
It's just knowing who you are and being you. And
it's part of me now.
I have a muse, as you called her, who, what do I want to say about this? Oh, let's not talk about that. Instead, let's move on.
You want to? Okay.
No, I had a thought about a student of mine. Rather, it was day 2 of my boot camp, and I met my students outside in the, outside of the lobby area. We were going to meet up and go up together to the conference room. And a gentleman came up to me and knew me as Mystery. I presumed he was one of the students. I said, hi, we talked for a while. I got to know him. I asked about his sticking points. And he came upstairs with us because I had invited him. I said, let's go upstairs. Let's head on up, guys. And it wasn't until he was in the room that my business partner realized, who's this guy? This guy is not one of your students. But I had invited him. I had talked, thinking he was my student. I talked him into coming upstairs, grabbing a seat, and attending. Right. So he had to pull him aside and they had to do some business talk, and he stayed the rest of the day.
Oh my God.
But that was absolutely accidental. Funny. But it was a destiny moment. Here's why. Because that gentleman knew my muse.
Oh, okay.
Right? Just by a 1 in a million chance. It came out in conversation, and that was a destiny moment. It was really cool. It was really cool. You know,
that's cool.
Did you ever see this girl again?
No, but I invited her on the
building. Right?
I know she's here. If I run into her, I say, you're still invited to come on the show, because I did invite her for the following show, but she never got back to me yet.
Understood.
We do follow each other on Instagram, though.
Okay. Get her on your show.
That would be great, right? Can you run game by yourself effectively?
Certainly.
Yes.
Of course. Damn straight. Of course you can. You sometimes better. If I have a wingman who isn't trained up, if I'm with one of my students,
it's almost a hindrance.
It's a hindrance, right? So if I've got too many, guys with me, I feel the negative social pressure of being, surrounded by dudes instead of girls.
You got to entertain
right?
them too.
So go alone. You're not alone for long. Open the first set on the left when you enter the venue. Now you're not alone, but you have to risk being alone again to leave the set and open the next set. Don't get stuck in a set that's good, because it prevents you from being in a set that's great. The enemy of the best is the good. Some people fall into a set and hang out for hours, huddling for warmth, but there's no target or woman of interest. So you have to risk being alone again in order to open another set and find love, right? So you're going to be alone from time to time. That's a part of the game.
Yeah, I know. Gosh. So I'm into like some really heavy, hard ass music, right?
Fair.
And so I can't exactly bring my wife to go see a Slayer show, or like I went to go see, like, I think the last show I saw by myself was like, I think it was Ghost. I wanted to watch because they're going to be here pretty soon. But
Ghost?
No, the band Ghost.
The band Ghost.
And I'll go by myself. Like, I
Sure.
don't care. I'm just going to go by myself.
You're not alone when you get there.
I'm not. Once you walk in there, man, everybody's like, because you already know you're there to see the band that you're into, and everybody else is into it too, and you're part of the family. They just, hey, let's go, Slayer. Yeah, exactly. I mean, you're like, I will go. I prefer to go by myself now because I know when I get there, I'm going to be in good hands. I'm going to meet people that I like, and I think maybe if you go out if you can just sort of like convince yourself to go out by yourself with that sort of attitude in mind, I'm going to go meet some friends that I didn't know I had, and let's go.
And if you do go with a wingman, it's a good idea to go with a like-minded individual. Don't open sets together. Have one person opens the set. The other one opens another set. 3 to 5 minutes later, you meet. You go in with your wingman. I'll do it this way. You go in with your wingman, then separate, work sets, and 3 to 5 minutes later say, let me introduce you to a good friend of mine, and backwards merge. And both groups get to mingle and merge and occupy each other so you can isolate your selected targets. That's a good game plan.
Yeah, it's funny is like Justin Waller and Sterling Cooper used to do that too. Like they'd be doing social stuff, but one of the things that they do is they're like perfect wingmen for each other because they build each other up while they're there.
That's good.
So like if one, like they have this, okay, maybe this is a gambit, right? But if they're at a table, like they're at a restaurant or they're at like a club or something like that, they're sort of, I guess for lack of a better term, isolated. The girls that they're with, if one guy will pick up and go to the bathroom and leave for a little while, and the other guy builds him up while he's out of the room.
That's right.
Yeah.
It's called an AI, accomplishment introduction. You introduce your wingman and his accomplishments prior to his arrival. So you just big him up, and he does the same for you. There's another game plan where he opens a set, and the hot girl in that group, he bigs you up to and throws that girl onto you. You do the same. You open up a set and throw the hot girl onto him, and have both sets mix and merge, occupy each other, and you both get your selected targets. Right? What's the bad thing to do is to go in with your wingman into, say, a 2 set of girls together and split the set. If he doesn't hold the friend's attention, the friend can become a cock block, thinking, oh, your friend's an asshole, maybe you are too, and I got to save my friend from him. No, we were getting on. You two weren't. But don't let that stop us from getting on. Right? But because they presume your wingman is like you have low value if he didn't work it well. So the secret is to merge the 2 set, not with your wingman. Work it alone. Merge it to another group with girls in it. You have 2 girls in your arms. Come on, let's go make some friends. And you open up the next set. It rips open because you got social proof. Then you can pawn off these girls into the set so they're occupied, right? And either go for the queen in the second set or enjoy isolating your woman of interest from the first set, right? You have to do the work, right?
Yeah.
I'd rather throw a girl to occupy the obstacle or the friend than a guy, because if it doesn't work, I may lose the set because of his error. But at least women can huddle for warmth.
Yeah. Exactly. Oh, God. Okay. Aaron Clary, who is not gay. Holy cow, a legend and Rollo. Thanks a lot. Thank you for the vote of confidence. If you knew Aaron. Is there a different kind of strategy for men who don't like bars or crowds? Basically the introvert type.
No.
Locations. Many of us men don't want to have to pretend to be going and outgoing and party when it's not our thing.
Getting laid is not for you.
Yes.
Move on.
Yes.
Do something else.
Yes.
Maybe he could get into Lego.
Yes. Needlepoint.
Yep. Lego. That's fun. Or you can go to rooftop patio bars where the beautiful women are to be found. That's where they go. And you can meet them.
Either
it's
way,
simple as that.
You have to go out and take action. You have to go.
Yeah, they're not coming over to your house and playing Lego with you.
Right. Locations, though, this is something that I've kind of like been collecting data on recently because of the Reignite group. Because a lot of the guys that are in the group are not they're not guys that want to go to Zook or Omnia, but they would want to go to a lounge like Bel Air or a pool party or something like. I think it was Mike was saying there's Tao Beach Club or Excess or Wet Republic. There's
always a good place for us as long as there's a chance to have conversation. If you can hear chatter, you're in the right location for conversational pickup. He's just not going to the chat zones. Get to the chat zones, but I'm not into chat zones. Well, then you're not into girls because that's where the women are. I don't want to have to talk to girls.
I want them to show up on my.
Sounds like to me. I don't want to have to talk to girls in order to get a girlfriend. What do I do? Get in the game and stop making excuses, son.
I think that there are locations that are going to be less loud than others for sure.
Yeah,
but you
is an
still have to
example
go
of
out
where
and
not to go.
Grab your nuts and go out and do it, though.
Yeah, of course. But Omnia is a loud venue, so don't go or go with girls. That's how Michael Sartain does it. He does a fashion costume competition with a whole bunch of women that he draws to the nightclub. It's a special event, right? Bring girls with you to go dance. Chaperone women. Don't go alone. It's not conducive to pickup. Go to places that you can talk. And usually a nightclub that's loud has quieter areas, not Omnia. You have to go outside to make a phone call, right? But there are venues that have both a dance floor and a chat zone. Go to the chat zone.
Those ones.
Yeah, they're fun. Yeah. He's picturing that this isn't as fun as it is. Going out to these public gatherings are fun if you're doing a dozen sets a night. If you do no sets a night, you're not going to have fun. You're going to live in envy. Stop envying others in their sets, having fun.
One of the
join them.
One of the things that I get, and this is like from my Patreon group as well, is like I've got guys from all over the country, right? And they're like, well, I live in Paducah, Kentucky, and there are not even 12 sets here to get. There's not even 2 sets.
I have advice for them.
Yeah. Move.
Yep. Or
fish where the fish are.
Or go to a large city for a long weekend like we do on boot camp. We're going to Helsinki at the end of the month. Game and start up a relationship with a girl. Get compliance, right? Either sexual compliance or at least compliance to travel with you. And invite her to your small town. That's how you get a hot girl from a big city to come visit you. You go to the big city, you meet her, you attract her, you build comfort. She seduces you. You now have full compliance, and you convince her to come to your small town. That's how you get a girlfriend to your small town.
Yeah, I was going to say that's just the realities of the game right now. Is you want to go? I mean, that's why. I sound like a broken record because I'm always trying to get my friends to move to Vegas.
Vegas is a good nexus.
What are you doing in Arkansas? Get to Vegas.
That's right. It's a great nexus. It's a great place to gather your friends from all over America to game. That's why I do boot camp here.
There was a time I would have said Miami, but I think Vegas is where it's at right now.
Well, Miami is its own special animal. I'm doing a boot camp there for my birthday, September 24th.
Oh, cool.
I'm doing a boot camp on my birthday because it's fun. It's a lot of work, certainly.
God, I should go out there,
but it's fun.
Fresh asked me to come out to Miami for his new show.
I'm sure I'll bump into them as well. Yeah. Come out with us. It's for my birthday. I'm turning 54.
Oh, really?
That's as many cards in a deck of cards with jokers.
I'm only 3 years older than you. Fuck. Nice. No, I was going to say is the storytelling aspect of all of this. You and I were talking about this. I mentioned this on my show a few times. There's this great book and it's called Storyworthy, and I want to say it's by
you told me about
Matthew
this.
Dix is the guy who's the name of it. And like I was saying before, I didn't know that there were like these open like story jams where you were like, could be a storyteller and you have 8 minutes to tell a story. And it's usually at a bar or it's at like a coffee house or something like that. And these are like international competitions where you'll get together and whoever tells the best story wins. I don't know, in some cases like $20,000, $30,000.
Okay, I like that
idea.
idea.
You can win a good chunk of change doing this, right? And it just sort of developed as kind of like cowboy poetry or poetry slam kind of stuff. And so
spoken word
is basically what it is. You have 8 minutes to tell a story, and it's a combination between the judges and the audience, who audience favorite kind of thing. And the book itself talks about, there's exercises in it so you can tell a more effective, better story. The other one is that there's different elements of the story itself. So like I was telling you before, it's like if you're going to tell a humorous story, there has to be something tragic or sad that the humor, like, oh, I thought one thing, but it was really this, and the one thing was like, oh my God, I'm going to die. And then, oh, turns out you're not really going to die, Right. And so there's like, it depends on like the nature of the story. I mean, all stories are really looking for an emotional appeal. And I kept thinking about how that story elements and the components of telling an effective story relate not only just to game, but also like how you're going to be a public speaker. Maybe you're talking to the city council. Maybe you're trying to convince people to buy something from you. Maybe it's the board of directors, that kind of stuff. And it always works better if you tell a story first. And honestly, I think that's something you probably just naturally came upon when you were first gambits are stories,
I wasn't
right?
good at storytelling. I got good at stories. There's a difference. Storytelling allows you to, having a skill set in storytelling allows you to tell any story well. I couldn't tell any story well, but I could tell the stories that I memorized, that I knew and I lived through. I could tell them well. So I just stuck to what worked. I just ran stories that I had the delivery down with. That's what I recommend to my students is write a cheat sheet of the stories that you would tell your next girlfriend anyway. Put them down onto your list so you can get to them in an efficient manner sometime in your pickup. You're turning her into your girlfriend. Don't you want her to know a little bit about you? How many are in her family? How many are in yours, etc.? Right? Some guys forget all of that. They just try to seduce her on the open, right? It has to happen in phases.
Yeah. I think that when a lot of guys are struggling for something to say, like that's one of the most common things I get. I'm sure you do too. It's like, well, once I got her and we had this conversation, I don't know what to say.
I ran out of material.
I'm like, well, what about your stories, man?
That's right.
And then springboarding off of other people's stories, because if you listen to other people telling stories, that might remind you of something that happened to you or something you think, you've thought about in the past.
In qualifying in the third phase, I'm not merely asking her questions and hearing her answers. When she answers with the story from my questioning, I'll then go into a similar story and then ask her another question. Oops, sorry. And then ask her another question. It's not question like an interview, right? It's question. She answers it. I have a story that goes with it, a comfort building gambit. And then I'll ask another question to get her to invest more. You do that 4, 5, 6 times and you fill the 10 minutes it takes to get the qualification phase completed, right? Then you move on to comfort. Because now you've gotten to know each other and you like each other, at least with the Kino escalation. Right. If you're arm in arm, one-on-one with a girl, that's the dream. But you have to handle all the logistics. She's with her friends. She's standing. The bartender is taking their order. So you got to handle all those logistics to be able to sit with the woman of interest and get to know her. Then you're in C1, in the first phase of comfort. Right? It's where we all want to be. But you can't start there. You got to handle all the logistics, open the set, demonstrate higher value, disarm the obstacles, make them know that you're not creeping her out and making her feel discomfort. Then you're off to qualifying high valued male behavior, to ask her questions about her, to see if there's any red flags. If there are, you'll dismiss her, politely. If there's green flags, you can reward her for the good behavior, tell her stories back with DHVs in them, that is green flags in your stories. Then you're off into comfort, arm in arm, getting to know each other. Then you can move the set either forward or backwards to adjacent sets, back to the friends you came with, if you came with friends, back to the previous set, and the game is on. You know, you're having shared activities then.
Right.
Introducing her to other people is a shared activity, showing that you're a social butterfly. You get good at that same sequence. And critically, when a woman of particular quality comes along, you'll just run your core material that you got good at over the last 6 weeks, and God forbid, get the girl.
Yeah. I was telling you a story yesterday, and I didn't get to finish my story with you.
Please.
So everybody on this show has already heard this story, but I'll do it again. But I'm going to tell you the reason why I started using this. I started using stories as part of like my own material, is like for the show even. Is because people really like, I mean, human beings have been we're storytellers, right? We had oral traditions. We before we had written words and everything, we told ourselves stories, right? So I was telling you this story is the first time I ever got with a woman who would be considered a quote unquote cougar or a MILF. Okay. And so I was 22 and she was 41. Okay. And she was the manager of the band that I was in at the time. And she said, "Oh, I think you're cute," blah, blah, blah. And I was a little hesitant to hook up with somebody who was that age because she knew that I was already hooking up with other girls as well. But she kind of won me over because she was just like so ever present all the time. You want to talk about gaming me and coming after me? That was definitely that case. And so I started seeing her, semi regularly. And like she would buy me stuff. She gave me a car so I could come and like see her and stuff. I've never had a girl give me a car before, right? But she worked for she was an A&R person, and she was also the manager of the band that I was in at the time. And so we started seeing each other, and I had only ever been to her. Well, we would see each other on the weekends. I go over to her condo, right? It's Woodland Hills. And I would only go over there in the evenings, like at nighttime when it was dark, right? And so I walk up to her door or whatever. We go out and do whatever we're going to do. And she was, she had this pretty nice, it looked to me like it was just a 1-bedroom condo, right? Shower, living room, kitchenette kind of thing. So I would go in there and there was always this one door that was off to one side on the living room. And I go, "What's behind that? What's in that door?" She goes, "Oh, that's just the washroom." Right. That's where the washer and the dryer are. Right. I'm like, "Oh, cool." And then one time I came over to her place and it was like in the daytime. Right. It was like a Friday and I was waiting around for her and stuff. I look at the condo. I go, "This condo is a lot longer than like I know where the living room would be about." And I'm just like looking at the front door to the living room to where the length of to the next front door would be.
Hidden room.
And I was like, "Yeah, this is a much bigger condo than I thought." So the following morning, when she's taking a shower, I get up and I go and I look in the door, and yes, there's a washroom there, but there's also her like 10-year-old son's bedroom was back there as well. And so she was a single mother, and she didn't want me to know that she was a single mother.
She should come out with that on the open.
I was going to say, and it was
proudly,
because people have asked me, "Oh, Rollo, have you ever got with a single mother?" Yes, but not intentionally.
Right. Fair enough.
Not intentionally. And so that was my sort of, humorous story as to like how I figured out that she was a single mother, which led to a life learning lesson, which is that when a woman is a single mother, she presumes that that's going to be a disadvantage to her. And she's not wrong. She's not wrong. They call it. Yeah, she's not wrong.
No, that's the greatest
I'm 22
accolade.
and I don't care. I'm having sex with a 41-year-old chick who like thinks the world of me. So I didn't really give two shits about it because I knew I wasn't going to marry her. I was done with her in 8 months, right?
Did you meet the son?
Once.
Okay.
Once, because there was like a birthday party or something like that. And it wasn't that big a deal. I didn't really think two things about it. But the elements of that story are, I thought one thing, discovered another. Those are like, so what I'm doing is breaking down the elements of the story that I just told you into those little phases and stuff. Now, one of the things that you have said in the past, and I don't know if you still use this as a gambit, but I think you used to say something to the effect of like, you be with a girl and you say, "What's your favorite store at the mall?" And it's like, of course, women love to tell you, "Oh, it's,
Victoria's
Louis
Secret,
Vuitton, Victoria's Secret, Gucci, whatever." Right. And then your response is, "My favorite store is the luggage store."
My luggage gambit.
I laugh my ass off.
It's based on a true story.
And I broke it down into the key elements and why it's effective. And that's one of those dudes. tell him to be quiet. But the elements was to take that woman on sort of this mental journey of imagination, right? So like, well, where would you go if you could go anywhere in the world? And suddenly you're on this insta date,
future time projection, shared time projection.
Can you talk about that? Like, why was that something that you would use?
Well, no, the luggage gambit is simply me stating that I love luggage. I've got a weird fixation with luggage. I travel a lot, so I like my luggage to be new and clean and the newest, lightest versions. So I will ethereally be pulled into a luggage store, right? And sometimes I don't even know why I'm there. It's just something I get dragged into. And then I parallel it by saying, that's how I feel about you. I'm drawn to you like luggage.
And do you then go off into sort of like this, like, where would you go? Like, where would we go if we could go anywhere in the world?
That's a different idea. That was my luggage.
But that was the point, yeah.
But yeah, future time projection is where you say, I can picture you and I on a beach, me dressed as a priest, you dressed as a nun, and we should make out in front of people and see what happens, right? Future time projection. And that's also absurdity as well. Being absurd is fun.
Yeah.
It's very entertaining. But future time projection is where you convey to her an image of the two of you together 6 months from now, right? As in an endeavor to make her feel
trust building.
Yeah, trust building, comfort, all that. Yeah.
All right, let's answer some more of these real quick.
Please.
Wanted to ask Mystery if there are some differences to the interactions, conversations, and the responding of the pickup to back then before social media. Interactions, conversations, and the responses to pickup back when you were doing this, and then after, like, post social media.
I don't know. No difference.
I think
girls are girls. I mean, some girls are on the phone more, and they lose a point if they bring their phone out in public. That's just how it is for me.
Yeah.
It's a red flag. They should be a little bit more present.
Being present, yeah.
If they're not present, I lose interest.
Yeah. I was going to say is, like, I remember talking to Myron and Fresh, and Myron was saying something to the effect like, that old pickup artist stuff doesn't really work anymore. It's not as relevant as it was. I'm like, dude,
he's operating from a place of pain.
I'm like, dude, women are women and men are still men, no matter what. I said the context might change, but the fundamentals don't. So instead of a number close, you're getting an Instagram close. Okay, it's the same principle.
Yeah, contact exchange.
Yeah,
Instagram or WhatsApp.
What was the book called that goes over effective storytelling? It's called Storyworthy, and I believe the author is Matthew Dix. I know, but check it out. Russell Brunson, I think, is writes the introduction to it. So,
cool.
Rollo and Mystery, thank you for all the gems throughout the years. Didn't grow up with a dad, so you guys really opened my eyes. Do you mind if we clip this up and create reaction content to help spread it? Be my guest.
Be my guest.
Just get get the names right.
Welcome to the wild, wild web.
Yeah. Can we stop you? No.
Thank you, son.
Yes. Rational Redneck says, I've worked sales jobs and people always look at me like I have two heads when I compare them. But what are the similarities between sales and pickup?
I don't really take sales metaphor and bring it to pickup. Here's why. Sales usually refers to handling objections logically. A woman doesn't say, I don't like you because this and this and this reason. And you say, so if I could solve this reason, and this reason, could we go ahead with this relationship? That's getting logical. I want to
negotiation.
Exactly. It's objection handling. I would rather change her mood, not her mind. I'm not out to change her mind logically, rationally, but I'm rich, right? Instead, I'm out to make her feel good in the time I'm with her.
Right.
That's what I'm doing. It's a dance club, not a sit and question life club. So some of my interactions are rather surface and very comedic. We're getting into instant rapport by laughing together, right? That is the win. 25 minutes into the set, you won't remember what I said, but she'll remember how she felt
about it. Yeah. Leaving her with an emotional impact.
And I'll presume she's smarter than me and can see through my game, but she enjoys it.
She's still playing it. Yeah.
Right.
So that's similar to one of the concepts I throw out there is women don't want to be told that they're playing a game. They want you to be a good player of the game. They want you to be because they don't want to have a guy who sits there and explains, well, you're doing this because of hypergamy and this is a shit test and this is this and that. See all the things that you're doing. Like they don't want to have some guy with an Excel spreadsheet. Good. Yeah.
Feel great, feel enthused, feel fascinated. You know, that's really the emotion that I attempt to project. I act fascinated by the topics I bring up so they can feel fascination through me.
Yes.
That's how I do
No one ever reasoned a woman into bed.
Right.
They emotion a woman into bed, but they've never reasoned a woman into bed. You can, there's enough guy. I mean, Fox Day used to call them the gamma males. These are the guys who are the list makers, right? Like, here's a list of reasons why I'm the perfect boyfriend for you. 1, I would never leave you, baby. 2, I'm in love with you. 3, I've got a great job. I come from an Ivy League college. I have a great family. I like dogs. I want kids in the future. Like all this thing. That's right. The woman says, fuck you. I want to get with the outlaw motorcycle gang member over here because he makes me feel something. If it's danger, doesn't matter. Just as long as it's an emotional association.
It's visceral. You can.
Yeah, and I think a lot of guys who come into this space and they can't get their heads out of sort of like they're too rational. Like, and I hate to say that because I'm the rational. They're too rational in the sense that they expect that women, and this is because they believe in what I call the blank slate fallacy. Like men and women are just the same, right? So if men and women are just the same, then women should have the same level of capacity, anyways, of rationality that men do. So we should just logically explain to them why we're the perfect mate for them, the perfect mate choice, and we're going to have perfect little babies, and we're going to have 2.5 kids and a golden retriever in the front yard, and this is how we're going to go off and
your future time projecting.
Yeah, and it is the most boring, most stale, most stagnant bullshit that you could possibly come up with. And women, I think it was Vox Day says, women have this uncontrollable desire to punch those guys in the face, and they can't explain why they have that impulse, and that's why they have that impulse.
Well, there's
because you're not playing the game, you're explaining the game.
Fair. In conclusion to this topic, sales metaphor is not something that I bring into my cold approach pickup. It to me is too cold and calculating. You know. Pickup is supposed to be warm and fun, playful, non-threatening, non-needy, you know, rapport building, rapport breaking for entertainment's sake, you know, because if you're a challenge and you break rapport, when she works to mend it in qualifying and you allow her to mend it, you have a weld, and the weld is stronger, and you appreciate each other and you respect each other, that it can go south. The conversation can become fueled.
That's conditional,
right? It's that exactly that it's conditional.
Yeah, I think one of the things that a lot of guys don't grasp, especially with me, because they expect me to be Mr. Spock, right? Like I'm the guy that's like going to explain everything logically for you.
The rational man.
The thing is like I don't do that with my wife. I don't do that with the girls that are on here. And that it throws people off when they see me on Access Vegas and some chick starts talking about astrology and go, oh, really? Tell me more about that. You know, tell me more about, well, I've done this before. Like we had 10 girls at the table one time and I go, you guys are all in astrology, right? You're all experts at astrology. Yeah, of course. Like, okay, what's my sign? All 10 of them got it wrong. And I'm like, there's only 12 like signs, right? Something like that. Yeah, I'm like, statistically, you should have guessed it by now. But so I'm just playing along, being very playful with it. So that's why I have like the magic 8-ball and I have the crystals and stuff like that. Because I've like Mike hates that shit. And he he's dead stops, right? He doesn't. I'm like, no. This is an opportunity.
Yeah.
Like you want that yin yang shit. You want to play into that kind of stuff because that's playing along with it. Do I know logically, rationally that astrology and all this stuff is like the woo woo energy?
Yeah, I'm into astronomy, so it kind of dispels
like, the whole thing. Is like things. I'm like, no, I know it's bullshit, but I'm playing along. But everybody in the goddamn chat's like, I can't believe he says something like that. How come he's the rational male? And I'm like, dude, there's a an act, there's a playfulness that goes on, and it's okay to be playful. It's okay to have fun with this shit. I know that it's bullshit, but I'm going to play into that. And if you have this like mentality of everything has to be like literal and just to this autistic level where it's just like you can't engage with women without being 100% logical with them and everything else, and it's like, well, you're going to be fucking lonely and jerking off for a while because again, it comes back to that emotional
rapport.
side.
You're breaking rapport with people who are investing their truth in you.
Yeah,
just accept their truth.
Yeah. It doesn't have to be the truth.
Her truth.
Their truth.
Accept her truth for what it is. Right.
I know this guy, when I first started doing Fresh and Fit, Hotep Jesus, a good friend of mine. He knows all the stuff that I do. He's very on top of his game. He's very logical minded, very business minded. But when I see him at Moxie's or when I see him with chicks, he is just smooth as fucking goose shit, man. I mean, he is just so, and because he vibes with them, that's what because they don't know what else to call it, right? I'm vibing with these girls, and he knows all of the seduction stuff. He knows all of the shit tests. He knows all of the mechanics of this, but he plays that so well that if you saw him, you would think, like most guys would say, oh, he's simping for that girl. He's trying to suck up to that girl and tell her what she wants to hear so he can get in her pants, which is true. But he also knows the dynamics that are underneath the game that he's playing on top of this. And I don't think enough people, maybe this is some, like people were asking just a minute ago, what's the differences in the game right now, right? Well, back in 1998, we didn't have the same level of knowledge base that we have right now. And I think that has been both a benefit, but also a deficit for us as well, because we become too literally minded. We have access to so much information right now that we can't play along with the magic. We can't play anymore. We just have to analyze everything all the time. And that's what keeps guys at home. That's why there's no girls out there that are worth engaging with right now.
Why will I try?
Yeah, why even try? Right? Why even bother? Or we'll get into the dancing monkey thing. Like, well, you're just out there just performing for these girls, and that's not who you really are, and you're inauthentic and all this other stuff, and you're performing for their approval. And I'm like, and
if bowing down and kissing a woman on her feet worked, I'd do it.
Everybody would be like,
if that's pickup, I would do it. It doesn't work, but I would do it. Right? Yeah. So yeah, I like girls, and if it means me having to meet them, I will do that because he's not meeting them.
Yeah. Well, at some point you have to play the game. You have to play. It's not going to just come to you and just like fall in your lap. If you want to be successful with women, you have to, in some way, at the very least, meet them halfway, right? And play the game and be an effective player of the game.
Fair.
Otherwise, you're not playing a game. I don't want to do that. Okay, well, fine. You're not going to do that. You're just going to stay out more for me.
Just pricing themselves out of the game.
And so one of the things you said yesterday, and I wanted to maybe I'll read the rest of these here in a second, but one of the things you said yesterday is like women. Oh God, this is gonna throw so many people. This is the clip. Here's your clip. Start the clip here. You said yesterday that women are the most important thing in the world. More than money. More than money. Yes. Right. Okay. Explain what you said at MOA.
Well, a gentleman said that he has to wake up at 6 a.m. and it's going to get in the way of his gaming. What should he do? I said, quit your job. Be entrepreneurial instead. Anyway, don't work for anyone. Work with people, not for people. If it gets in the way of you meeting a girl, quit your job. It's in the way of that which is more important. Women are more important than money.
Yeah.
Is that controversial?
It's going to be way controversial. Right. But like qualifying that, like I think what's funny is like for the amount of people who want to say, chase excellence and don't chase women. It's like because they think that by chasing excellence, then the women are going to come.
It doesn't work that way. It's the guy who says, as soon as I make my first million, then all the women are going to come. Women don't care that you're one more millionaire. There's a lot of millionaires. A millionaire buys you 1/3 of a nice house. It just gets you started. So There you go.
I always say this is like whenever people bring that, like everybody, it's money, muscles, and game, and they always fixate on one of those. Whatever their deficits are in the other two, the one that isn't those other two, that's the one that they just gross out on. So if you are if you're poor and you don't have any game, you just go to the gym and just keep going and maximize your looks, right? If you don't have a great body and you're not really socially adept, then you focus on money because, well, bitches just want money anyways. They want a millionaire. So I'm just going to, or else it's just like to the exception of money and physique, then it's like, it's all game and just being a court jester kind of thing. It's like, no, it's all three of those things. It's having that trifecta. They're all synergistic. Like that's why
these categories are health, wealth, and relationships.
That's why I'm glad you said
you focus on those three, balance them, maintain them at least, if not improve them. You can only improve one at a time usually, but you can switch and grow instead of spiraling downwards by not maintaining these three categories. Yeah.
And I like what you said. It's like
it's a metaphor.
Women are more important than money because it's like, what do you get the money for? To get bitches, right? Women are more important than going to the gym. Why? You go to the gym to get girls, right? But if that's the case, right? People like to throw the cope out there. Well, I'm doing it for me. You sound like a chick when you say that. What are you wearing that lingerie out here? I do it for me. No, you don't. You're at the club. You're wearing it at the club because you want guys to come up to you and want to run game on you, right? I remember telling one of my poor girls when I was working in wine and spirits, I said, so if I came over to your house at 4:30 in the afternoon, you'd be vacuuming the house in that lingerie and not like sweats and a white t-shirt or something like that. Well, no. I'm like, well, my point exactly. But it's the crisis of motive. It's like, what are you doing this for? Do you want to become a millionaire? Do you want to become, is the best version of yourself what you want to become because you have just some sort of reason that's what you want to be? Or is it because you think that once you reach that certain level that women are going to come, right? And I think it's another excuse not to take action. Because I will tell you this right now, when I was between the ages of probably like 21 and 28, that's when I got laid the most. But it's also when I was the poorest. I had a white pickup truck with no tailgate on it, and I had a Randall half stack and 2 guitars. That was my liquid assets back then, and I got more tail then than I and any other time in my life. And I will tell you right now, was not dependent on whether or not I was, what my bank account looked like at that time.
Sure.
Yeah. So let's get to the rest of these real quick.
We got?
Last one's here. Women in the sales office I worked at got especially offended by the comparison between sales and game.
Yeah, exactly. I don't put those two together. But remind him not to hit on his coworkers.
Yes, yeah. That's not a sexual zone.
That's not a place to get your girlfriend.
Gustavo says, "What are good examples of ways to properly handle an AMOG who tries to embarrass you to make himself look good in a group setting?" We got this.
Punch him in his face.
Yes, you learn karate.
Cobra Kai. Alpha male other guy. What I like doing is allowing them to blow themselves out of set, because what happens is they start getting reactive, right? And it's low value. So I let boys talk to girls. They can come in and get their turn, right? And then they're blown out, and then I can continue with maybe even they came in and raised their buying temperature, and then they leave, and I steal the buying temperature, and we have more fun faster.
Yeah.
I
think we got this question at the immersion, and somebody said something about basically the same thing, and you mentioned let them step on their own dicks. Like, don't interrupt the enemy when he's in the middle of making a mistake.
Say that.
Well, I would have said that. Yeah, I would have.
But I agree. Let them hang themselves, metaphorically speaking. They come into your set, infiltrating, alpha male, out alphaing. There are ways to out alpha the alpha, right? One is a gambit known as the karate coin snatch. This is where you take a coin, place it in their hand, and say, "I can get it out of your hand before you close your hand." It's a speed and intelligence challenge, and I can snag it out of the guy's palm faster than he can close his hand. Then the second time I do it really slow and say, "Oh, gotcha." It's also about intelligence. So it's a good gambit. And it allows me to run it on a large group of guys with the girl watching. I'm thereby the leader of men. And that's one of the triggers to attraction, is demonstrating that you're the leader of men. Right, that you're a part of a leadership circle at the very least.
That's good.
You know?
That's good.
It's a good gambit.
I was going to say,
gambit.
one of the things you also mentioned was, and this was at the immersion, was like once you let that guy sort of like trip himself up, is then to leverage that into your own game. So it's like so now suddenly, whereas you working into that set, you lacked familiarity. Once the guy comes in, blows himself out, then you're part of the team. Now you're part of the familiarity circle, I guess, for lack of a better term.
Fair.
So, and last one says, Flacco says, girls just want to have fun. Yes. Okay. You're good. Can you do one magic trick for us?
Which camera am I looking at? You want to try an experiment for fun?
Yeah. Let's do it.
All right.
Let's do it.
Someone has my phone. Could you kindly pass my phone?
While he's getting that, give him plug your group. Is it an intensive here, or was this the next?
I am doing a boot camp teaching cold approach pickup training and gaming in Helsinki at the end of the month, August 28th.
Okay.
It is far, and it is filled with beautiful women. So if you're in Las Vegas or any other city in America, or you're in Europe right now, consider coming to Helsinki, where we're all flying to special to meet the beautiful women and train in game with me and Baxter, my wingman.
Cool.
Fair? Go to askmystery.com and learn more. I found a list. Let me open up my phone here. God damn it. Sorry. I handed my phone to someone, so I had to turn my phone off. There we go. Okay. I found a list of 100 movies, and I'm going to show you this list in a moment. But before I do, may I use your pen and paper? I'm going to write a prediction of a near future event. Fair?
Okay.
I'm going to use a new piece of paper. I'm going to write it right here. Give me 1 sec. I'm predicting the future.
Okay.
Fair. This is just a guess. Fair. I'll leave it here for now. It'll be out of my hands. I will never touch it again.
Okay.
Fair? Or actually, I'll put it right here for you. Very convenient. But leave it down for now. That's a prediction out of my hands of a near future event. Now, I found a list of 100 movies.
Okay.
And I simply copied them from Google and pasted them into my notes.
Okay.
I'm going to show you the list of 100 different movies in a moment. But before I do, have we prearranged anything?
No.
Have we set anything up?
No.
Would you like to? Don't answer that.
No, but no.
But think of a number from 1 to 100. Don't let me force it upon you. Randomly pick a number from 1 to 100. And when you're ready, say it out loud to us.
Okay. 78.
Why 78? Is it a favorite number? I'm looking for notes.
First thing I thought of.
Fair enough. I have notes. Can you click on notes for me, please? And you'll see the top list says 100 greatest movies of all time. Good. And you'll see, go zoom down to 100. You'll see there's 100 movies. They're all different. Is that correct? All different?
Yep. They even have the dates.
Have you seen any of these movies? I've seen about 80% of them. That's why I have the list.
Yeah, I've seen a good portion of them. Yeah,
no doubt. So go to your number, whatever it was. What was it?
78.
78. Go to 78 and read out randomly this movie.
E.T. the Extraterrestrial.
Have you seen that movie?
1982. Oh yeah, saw it in the theaters. Actually,
you saw it in the theaters. Fair. I watched it on my Quest about 2 months ago, and I cried again. It's a great ending. It's a great movie. Steven Spielberg.
Okay.
But interestingly, I'll take that back.
Okay.
Interestingly, before I showed you the list, before you picked a number, I wrote a prediction. Could you turn that paper around and show it to the camera? Wow. Cheers to that.
There's going to be a million people that are going to be like, how the fuck did you do that?
Very well. Thank you.
That's
Very
awesome.
well.
Wow. Dude, this has been great, man.
Great times.
Thank you for coming by. We got to do
Thank
this
you for
again.
having me.
Now, the last thing I want to say before we clear out of here, first
Sure.
off, Babes in Toyland is coming up on August 14th. You're going to be there. I'm going to be there. So you have a rare occasion to see us both in a social setting together.
Right.
Holy shit. Let's take pictures. So I'll be doing that. My Reignite group is coming up on the 13th, 14th, 15th, and technically the 12th too, because we got some other like add-on events that are part of our Reignite thing. I've only got like 5-6 guys. Jason Hartman is joining us too. He just joined up this today, as a matter of fact. And so, anyways, we'll be doing that. We're going to be doing let's see, we're going to go ATV riding. We're going to go to the gun range. We are going to go play Top Golf, and any other thing that pops into my head. We're going to go to a lounge where there's not really loud music and you can actually have conversations with chicks. That's also part of a pool, a casino pool area too. That's going to be good. But that's coming up. If you're interested in that, the link is down below. No problem. Just hit that up. And then Helsinki in August 28th.
The end of August.
Okay.
And you can check out my schedule at askmystery.com for any of the other cities and times that we're going to be there.
Okay.
We're also planning on the Miami boot camp is September 24th is my birthday. So it's that weekend. Okay. Come to Helsinki or come to Miami and train in game with Mystery. You'll have a great time. You'll learn a lot.
Now I'm going to ask a question that I'm sure probably everybody's already asking here at the end. Okay. Like I've never met you before. We had you on Access Vegas that one night, and I guess maybe it was Mike who sort of like got you to come out here and to do all this stuff. I guess you have some sort of connection with Mike, right? Mike Sartain?
Of course. Yeah. He's a former student of mine.
Oh yeah,
from something like 17 years ago, and he helped us as an approach coach on several boot camps. We did 6 boot camps together, right? So he took on the knowledge and applied it and got really good at social circle game, level 4 game.
Now I'm going to
level 5 game with Access Vegas. I would call that level 5 game.
That's the top. That's
hot game.
Yeah.
It's
like
game.
Expanding. I think we can do something else.
Okay.
And we have Mike involved. We mentioned Owen Cook earlier, and I think a lot of the stuff that we're talking about now, I think game and pickup artistry, for lack of a better word, game, red pill, that kind of stuff. I think we've matured to a point where it's like it's time to like do something new, and I think that this is like something that we should be doing. I don't know what we can do. And if you guys in the chat or in the comments, you can think of something that like Mystery and I should do together, or Mystery, Mike, myself, and maybe Owen should all do together. What kind of collective, like, I feel like there's so much potential here and I don't know what to do with it.
There's safety in numbers. I mean, if we brought our heads together and we did some sort of seminar together, I think getting our perspectives as different as they are, I think would be very useful for students to attend.
I think we cover I think comprehensively we all cover all the bases that need to be covered, because you were mentioning, we were out here on the deck here a little while ago about how Mike focuses primarily on social circle game and stuff like that, and it's like, well, once you got the girls,
media harnessing,
exactly, and once you got the girls at the event, then what do you do? Well, then it's approach.
Then you need to meet them face on, strike their heart.
And I take care of the theory side of things. I take care of I'm like you mentioned, I'm defense, you're offense, right? You're Vince Lombardi and I'm Landry, right? And so it's like the perfect kind of yin yang kind of thing. And I'm just like wondering, like, what can we do? Like, what kind of group can we make? What kind of like event can we do? What kind of, maybe it's a convention. I don't know what the hell it is, but I do know that we'll probably do something together in the future, just to let everybody else know that that's what we're going to do. So guys, with that, I'll see you next week. Thanks for watching. Peace.
Do it again. I need to feel you on top of me. It was my first time But I was just a kid when we met and went to bed. It was my first time. What do you expect from me? I'm breaking up the rules, now I know the game. I've got some new tools, please do the same. Time came by and went over like a matchbox stereo. Time to get my thoughts, now let it go. Bound to keep me up all night. But maybe we can fuck again, and maybe things are different. Try to tell baby one more again. Won't you put it on me one more again? I need to know if maybe we can fuck again, then maybe things are different. Try to tell baby one more again. You could have the best in my life. The best in my life. Now we're fucking in the bathroom, tearing up everywhere. Why don't got your hair? Why you screaming my name? She was swinging in the bedroom, whole time stopping and sleeping with her head like she's Claudia Kelly. So baby, come run me up and down like a pony, turning up my song, getting messy, working up and down on your body. Run me up and down like a pony, turning up my song on your body. Baby, we'll get down to it all night. But maybe we can fuck it. And maybe things are different. Try to tell baby one more again. Won't you put it on me one more again? I need to know if maybe we can fuck again, then maybe things are different. Try to tell baby one more again.
Preceding podcast has been a production of The Rational Mill. All rights reserved. Registered trademark 2025. Don't steal. On mystery stuff.